up? What's up? What's up? YouTube. What's going on, you guys? How are y'all doing, child? I have allergies. I'm catching a cold. The worst time for me, but we're gonna still rock out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Can y'all hear me perfectly fine? Am I too loud? I don't know. Am I too loud or is the sound good? Put a one in the chat if the sound is good. Sometimes the sound is off. One in the chat if the sound is good for you guys. How y'all doing? Happy weekend. Happy Saturday. I decided to pop up here on Saturday impromptu. So I hope you guys appreciate it. Can y'all hear me? One in the chat if the sound is good. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Thank y'all so much for being here. Happy Saturday, y'all. Bear with me. My throat and my sinuses are like acting up, or I'm just catching a cold or something. I don't know. But thank y'all so much for being here. I'm happy to be here as well. Shout out to everybody in the chat, everybody in the building, everybody watching. Thank y'all so much for being here. You guys see the title: Attention Seeking Women Don't Care About Building with Men. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Cause every day or every day I'm talking about the same things that are happening within dating and relationships and marriages. And I just think it's important to discuss these issues, even though it's tiresome trying to give input that you think would help. And it doesn't seem, that people really care about it for the most part. It is very draining, but that just comes with the territory. There are lots of people who spoken out on things that they believe in and they're passionate about, so they talk about it. But it sometimes it just doesn't resonate. Specifically with the ones it should resonate with. You know what I'm saying? Other people get it, but the ones who need to make the changes are usually the ones who are hesitant about taking advice or making a difference or making a change. So I think it's important to address these issues, even though it gets it gets tiresome a lot of the times, but it's still important to talk about it, just to bring awareness to people who may not know otherwise. May not have had an upbringing that kind of that was safe, or an environment that gave them the tools that they needed for life and for relationships and everything else. So yeah, that's part of the reason why I think it's important to talk about it. But as you guys come in, make sure you hit the like button. What's going on? I am Alex. What's going on, Alex? How are you? I hope all is well. Puerto Rican Princess, how are you? Long time no see. I haven't seen you in a minute. Thank you so much for being here. Christopher Sterling, what's going on? Successful MD in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Successful MD. Eric Stiegel. Who else? Kevin from Brooklyn. What's going on, Kevin? Ryan Wedlow. Jay, what's going on, Jay? Says, yep, facts. Good title. Yeah, they don't know decent men at all. Attention, half naked, only fan. Right. Yeah, gotcha. Lorenzo Redmond, what's going on? Fourth Dimension, how are you? Take heed to the message. What's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Take heed. Who else? Shout out to everybody. Dot again. Thank you so much. GW Marlon Askew. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Gina's Homely Meals. Thank you so much for being here, Gina. I appreciate you. So thanks to everybody watching, everybody in the building. Make sure you follow me on my go subscribe to my second channel, you guys. Also follow me on Twitch if you haven't already. Make sure you are hitting the like button as you come in. That is super, super important. So we're gonna jump right into the live stream. I'm gonna try not to keep y'all too long today. But someone sent me this video from Love Dorsey, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are already familiar with her. To me, she gives the uncensored truth. She just calls it like she sees it. She does not beat around the bush. She don't, she goes straight to the point and says it in an uncensored manner. And she just calls it like it is. And she's gotten a lot of flack for being just completely honest and uncensored about what, when it comes to women and their nature. And so somebody sent me this video. I took part of it because she makes long videos, and you got to bleep out a lot because she cusses a lot, but she's spot on with her critique. And I love the way, she just come out and say it. She don't, just tell it like it is. Because sometimes people need to hear the raw truth. Sometimes you can't be nice to people. Sometimes you can't, play around their feelings and all of that, because it still does not get through to them. So sometimes certain people may need to just hear it like that, while others may need to hear it in a coddling kind of way. But I think it's important just to tell people the truth and not play around and beat around the bush about what it is, you're trying to convey to them. So I think it's important. I think all of it is necessary. So we're going to start off with that. Definitely chime in the chat. I want to hear your thoughts per usual on this, and make sure you guys are hitting the like button. So I'm going to be watching the likes. It's just as many people as we have in the building. I want to make sure that we have the same amount of likes. So hit the like button, It's free to like, you guys. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. Here we go.
Scatter too hard, bro.
Let me back.
Y'all chasing this scatter too hard, bro.
I hope y'all can hear her.
Y'all chasing it too hard, bro. This is why every time you turn around, you is somewhere, reflecting on how a silly ass did y'all with y'all children, with y'all assets, with the things that you built, with y'all business, with the stuff you confided in. These women don't give a about no privacy, about no mother family, about, what they care about? BBLs. They care about building a bunch of followers online. They care about their mother eyelash businesses. They don't give a They care about their kids having on designer and keeping up with the rest of the kids at the school. They don't give no about these kids reading levels. They don't give a damn about if the children are passing in their right grade or doing something with themselves when they graduate high school. The majority of these females do not give a about that. They care about being a victim. They care about being able to tell everybody in the community that you some sort of deadbeat, like it's an award at the end of the child's life. They don't give a this stuff psychologically children up. They don't give a damn. You can show them the facts. These women don't care. They will argue their opinion and they feeling over fact. They don't give a about the truth. Y'all don't understand that by now? And the sooner y'all care more as men about real substance, the sooner these go sit down somewhere. Because when no trying to get no from your ass, you'll go sit down somewhere. When no paying your ass no mind and ain't no big up in you over caring about this shallow ass, you'll go sit down somewhere.
Now, I'm gonna pause it right there. Right? Listen. Hopefully y'all can hear her, because it's her audio is the low part, but hopefully y'all heard what she was saying. No lies detected. This is basically what we talk about all the time, and how men are moving in a different direction, and how a lot of these women don't like it. And she just basically spelled that out. She basically just told you guys that women, they what they want, what they're looking for, and they're not looking for the things that they should be looking for, because a lot of them don't care, right? So they don't care about really building. When we're talking about, you should be looking for a man to build with, you should be looking for a man to build your life with, build a family with, do the things necessary so that you can have a long, stable house relationship and build a household, build a family the way that you should. Get married, have your family, and lead a productive life. This is not what a lot of these modern women care about. And that's why what I'm talking about and what many others talk about is just going through one ear, coming out the other, because that's not really what they want. But the thing that boggles my mind is the fact that they keep complaining. See, when you keep complaining on social media, saying that there aren't any good Black men out here and they're all dusties and they're all this, that's where these conversations come into play. Because, women who have good men know that there are good men out here. And the good men out here are speaking. I'm not a dusty. I'm not a deadbeat. I'm a good dude. I'm taking care of myself. If he has kids, he takes care of his kids. They're portraying all Black men in this one, putting all Black men in this one category, which is, a negative category, which presumes make people think that, it makes young people or anybody think that all Black men are just these horrible, dusty creatures. This is what they're saying. And this is not a new thing. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why I think it's important for others to speak out against that negative narrative, because that is not the truth of all Black men. And so that's why I think it's important to talk about it, because if not, that will just continue to be put out there, and you have young women coming up who are thinking this way, and their mothers are telling them this, and they're already coming into the game with this preconceived notion of what Black men are. So you're already skeptical. They already, going into the dating market looking at Black men as as men to be, either afraid of or cautious of, because, oh, they're going to do you this, they're going to do you that, they're all bad, and this and that, and that's just not the truth. So we got to counter that message with the right message to let them know that is not all men. They're good people in every race. They're good and bad all over. It's not just, but for some reason, Black men are portrayed as all the worst, just the bottom of the barrel, all bad, and that is not true. That's just not true. Oh, that's how I'm gonna say it. That's my opinion, but also it's just not true. And I think the narrative should be placed out that if you have had bad experiences with men, Black men, whoever, specify that. You have to really specify, hey, the men that I've dated were trash. Specify the type of men you've dated, because that's not how all men are. But they don't do that. You don't say, hey, I keep picking the same type of guy, and this same type of guy has messed me over. You just say all men, and in particular, all Black men. And I just think that that's a wrong thing to do. Because if men just went out and said all Black women are just trash, oh my God, it's going to be an uproar. They're going to pull their wigs. They're going to flip their wigs. You're going to flip your wig because you're like, wait a minute. I'm not that way. Well, you got to think about what you're saying when you're speaking on Black men, because if you don't want them to come out and say all of y'all are just lazy, dusty, no good women, no, you wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that. So you have to be cautious about how you speak. But once again, what Love Darcy is saying, they don't care. They don't care. Hey, Manny's Fitness Fortress, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. They don't care. All they care about is getting attention on social media. They care about, like she said, BBLs and all of that. You don't really care about really building, and they just want to use men. As much as I hear women talk about men, all they want to do is use women. No, once again, I say it all the time. They're projecting their energy onto the men. You're telling men, the very things that you would do to a man. You want to use a man for his money. A lot of these women are the ones out here talking about, you got to pay me to go on a date. If you DM me, you got to pay me. You got to do this. You got to do. It's really what they know that they are doing. It's like when you hear somebody say, it's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think. When you hear a person, it could be anybody, when they're always speaking about something so, like talking about what another person does, or what another, what men do, and they're so adamant about it and just so negative. When it's so negative and that's all you don't see no positive nowhere. Usually when I hear people, this is a red flag to me. When I hear people who say, oh, well, men are just this, that, and that. They like to do this and they like to do that and do this and do that, or whatever it is. Usually they're the ones who are doing it. You're projecting your own stuff onto somebody else to make yourself feel good, or not to be accountable for your own actions. And I think that's what a lot of these women are doing. Once again, it's not all women. It's not all women. There are a lot of good women, but it's not. This is speaking to the ones who think this way and talk this way. So yeah, I always say, listen, pay attention to what they're saying, because they're projecting. Men are insecure. Men are this. Men are intimidated. No, it's because that's what they are. A lot of these women are very insecure. A lot of these women are very what's the other word? Damn, I forgot that fast. Insecure, intimidated. They're intimidated by certain men. I say it all the time. As much as these women say they want a good man, you want a man with this, emotional intelligence, you want him with all of this. You don't even know how to communicate with a man who has this stuff together. because you're intimidated by him. A lot of these women are used to dealing with Pookies and Ray Rays, but they won't come out and say it. They won't be honest with us. They won't tell the truth. You're just going to keep complaining, talking about men of this because you can't get Pookie and Ray Ray to level up. Bottom line. Successful MD, thank you for the super chat. Says DeeDee, I sent it. I'm not a fan of vulgarity, but I felt it was valid since many love hood talk. They should understand her clearly. Oh my God. Thank you, Successful MD. Yeah, she, you know, she says it like it is and she don't sugarcoat it. And you would think that would be something that a lot of women would relate to and hear, but oh no. Nope. Oh baby, they come for her all the time. They come for her all the time. They don't like it at all. They don't like anybody telling the truth. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter how you say it. It don't matter how you look. It don't matter. You could, married women, single women, hood women. They say, oh, well, these male podcasters, excuse me, y'all. These male podcasters need to go sit down. They just give anybody a mic these days. That's what they say. Well, and they shouldn't even be speaking on women's issues. Well, you're sassy because you talk about women. Well, you're gonna make an excuse for anybody talking about stuff you don't want to hear. Anybody that's saying something that you don't want to hear, you don't want to hear from anybody. It don't matter who they are. You could be, I don't care who it is. They don't want to hear it at all. So it's not about how you say it. Because once again, with Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, they was like, oh, his delivery, he had some truth in there, but his delivery, y'all didn't give a shit about no delivery. You don't care about no delivery. You don't care about how people say it. You could be so nice. You try to skirt around their feelings and try to give them the truth without hurting their feelings. Child, it don't matter. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. It don't matter. You could be the most polite, say it like this. Oh my God, I just love you guys. Oh, and I'm just want to tell you the truth, and and I really want to help you guys, and let's just get some help, okay? You can do all that all you want. It does not matter because they don't want to hear the truth. You can talk to them in the most sensitive way. It doesn't matter. They're going to tear you apart. They're going to call you sassy. They're going to men sassy, call the women pick-me's and mammies. They don't care. So if you don't care, then listen, I'm going to tell you how I tell it to you. However I talk, however it comes out, you either take it or leave it. That's just what it is. Because guess what? These are adults. These are grown women. You can't change what they choose to do in their lives. You can't change them. You can't make them do anything. But you can certainly have an opinion and a little advice in there that of telling them what you think would work. None of us are perfect. None of us have all the answers. We're all here trying to figure things out as we go, right? But if I have a tidbit of information that I think or something that I think would help you, or maybe try to change your path a little bit to try to give you a different outcome based off of my experience and based off of a little bit of what I know, if you're somebody who really wants that information and really wants to change, then you would think common sense would say, let me try that. Let me try that. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. I mean, it won't hurt anything. Let me just try it and see if I can get a better outcome. Because after all, I mean, if you want different, you have to do something differently, right? If you want a different outcome, you have to make changes to what you're doing to get something differently out of it, right? So common sense will tell you that. But once again, common sense it ain't too common, right? Because a lot of people don't want to hear anything that requires them to change, anything that requires you to do something better for your life. You want to keep doing the same things because you're comfortable there, thinking that it's going to manifest something great out of it. And when that doesn't happen, everybody is trash. Everybody is horrible. Oh my God, this is just bad. And the men are just harsh or horrible and they don't want to level up or do. No, you don't want to change, baby. You don't want to do nothing to make your life better. So why should anybody come in and just automatically do it for you? Because that's going to bring them down. They're going to be stressed out and they're going to have a hard time. So get it together. Johnny BX, thank you for the super chat, super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Let's continue.
Don't care about that's good for the culture. They care about good for online. Cause that's what they being fed. Through the music, through the reality, all the care about is looking fly and fighting another over a man or some man that showing you he don't want nothing to do with family. He don't got to the thing. Y'all gotta understand. These nowadays will know. And this is what I was saying earlier. You gotta have some sort of sense of loyalty and commitment and dedication to yourself, your ethics, your brand as a man. I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because these can know that you are working on something to build generational wealth or build yourself up as a man because you came from nothing. They will know that you're working on things that have to do with growth in life to be able to actually be a man reflective of supporting a family or being able to take care of a family. They will know that you're in no state right now to be doing that has to do with their agenda. But if you don't pay them, because after attention, if you don't pay them enough attention, these won't give a damn when real life situations hit y'all. That's why every time y'all be in situations with these females and y'all express, hey, like we don't need a baby right now, or we don't need this right now, or hey, we don't need to spend this right now, or hey, look, I know you want that, but a nigga trying to do this and we need to do that. Man, these ain't giving a They'll have the baby anyway and tell you did something to them because you're saying that this is not something you need right now. They'll sit up and leave your ass or another nigga. You can't buy the particular bag or whatever the trip they want to go on. These don't give a about what you niggas working on. They want what they want, instant gratification right the now, and that's that. So what I'm saying to y'all is you got a woman in your corner that she actually consider your view on she actually consider how you feel about things. She actually consider what you working on for yourself as a man. Bruh, that's more valuable than all this y'all chasing. That's more valuable than these looks that be intriguing y'all. That's more valuable than a that got clout online. And I'm telling y'all this as a got a bad body, that got a big platform, that got a pretty face. I'm telling y'all, these got to have some sort of substance about themselves, and you to start caring about that.
So listen, what she's saying in a nutshell is there are certain men who are going after certain women based on how they look. And y'all know I talked about that too, how they look. I don't know. I think it's just all crazy. But is she basically saying when men get to the point where they stop caring about what these women look like, you know, these women with these BBLs, or some of them are attractive women. So when men stop trying to cater to these types of women, stop trying to chase these women or give attention to these type of women and just look past them, these women won't have any other choice but to go sit down somewhere. You know, when they stop getting men who are going to cater to them based off of their looks, men who are willing, you know, to give them money for their attention, then they won't have any other choice but to change, because once they realize that men aren't attracted to that or men are not running to that, it's going to make them do something differently. And I think this is what certain people are saying when they say, oh, it's up to the men, it's up to the men. Now, you know, ultimately, I think it's up to the women. I think it's up to the women to make a change, but I do see that there are still some type of a little bit of simpish behavior from some men who still just are trying to get attention from those types of women. So they will have that problem because you're going to realize this woman, she don't care about anything that you're doing. She don't. In fact, a lot of these women will sabotage what you're working on or what you're trying to do, you know, because they don't really care about your value or what you're trying to do. All they're trying to do is just get something out of you. But to her point, though, what we're seeing exactly that. A lot of these men are not fazed by these women. This is the thing. I see so much where so many videos and just even in real life, you know, where men are just not even paying attention to these women. A lot of these men have done just that. They are not running behind these women. They are not trying to pay these women's bills. They're not trying to do it. I said it yesterday. So this is why these women are complaining, because now they have no other recourse. OnlyFans is not doing so good. You know, they're not making all that money off of OnlyFans. All of it is a trickle down effect. once men realize what these women are up to, once these women expose themselves and they even gave a playbook on how to manipulate men, I'm thinking this is crazy as hell. There were women who actually post videos on TikTok and other places telling other women how to manipulate a man. And it's like they lost it. They lost brain cells, or they don't have any, or something. But they didn't realize that there are men watching this too. So you exposed your nature and told men exactly how to treat you, or gave them, the tools to ignore you, or told them, explain to them exactly what you're doing and how they should be responding. So I just think that, yeah, women these types of women definitely exposed themselves, and men were paying attention. So I look, a lot of these women now are complaining about why men don't approach them, why men don't even look their way. One woman said, look, she was in the grocery store and black men were in there and they wouldn't even give her any eye contact. He looked over as if she was invisible. So it's happening. It's happening. A lot of men have decided, you know what, I'm not playing these games with these women. I'm not going to lose what I've worked hard for these types of women who don't mean me no good, who don't care about building relationships, don't care about having a good man, don't care about cooperating with a man, don't care about any of it. So why should I waste my time and resources on these types of women? So it's happening. It is definitely happening. It really is. And it's a good thing, because it's unfortunate though, like I said, because I think family, marriage and relationships is what we need to build our communities. But at the same time, I don't think, because I have sons, and I don't think that men should just sit by and let a woman just take advantage of them, use them and abuse them, and just, let it just roll like that, just because she's a woman and she got a vagina and you just interested in, getting some vagina from her here and there. I don't think it's worth it for you to lose your sanity and your morals and values on somebody who's not worth it. The same way I would tell my daughters if she was dealing with a Pookie or Ray Ray, look, it's not worth it either way. There's no way you should be dealing with a man like this who doesn't value you or respect you or any of that. I don't think anybody, male or female, should have to deal with individuals like that. And if you have more respect for yourself, you wouldn't allow that. And this is what a lot of self-respecting young men, or men in general, are doing. They're not doing this. They're not our stepfathers from the 80s and the 90s or whatever. These are not those men. Just like these women want to say, we're not our grandmothers. Well, these are not just your stepdads that you was used to sitting there being a simp, super simp, sitting there allowing that woman to just mess over and do whatever she wants, sleeping with different men while he there taking care of the household. Come on now. And giving her money, and then she just out just doing whatever. It's not that time. So that's just what it is. So, I think women have exposed themselves, and men were paying attention. That's just it. And as much as women are the ones who like to complain about, the pickings are slim out here in these dating streets, because you hear that too. Oh, there are not a lot of good men anymore who want to support women. Yeah, they are. You just don't qualify for them. Because if you did, you probably would already be married to one of them. So just saying, because the majority of the good men and the good women are already taken. That should tell you something. That should tell you something, when they talk about leftover women, baby, the majority of the good women and men are either married or in relationships already. So if you're not, then you need to look at yourself and reevaluate where you stand. What's going on with you? Do you need to make some changes? Once again, it goes back to self-accountability and self-awareness. What is it that you're lacking? Why a respectful, decent man hasn't approached you yet? Why you keep attracting what they would call the bottom of the barrel? Why? And just to be frankly honest, if you keep attracting what you call the bottom of the barrel, then maybe that's what you are too. You're sitting right there at the bottom right with them. That's the pool that you're in. And you can't get out of that pool of men because you don't have the qualifications to do so, because you don't want to change anything about yourself to level yourself up. So if you need to level up, and you need to do that if you want to attract a man that's leveled up. You can't stay at the bottom with the people on the bottom and expect top tier outcomes, or top tier men, top tier outcomes, or whatever. You can't sit way at the bottom and think millionaires are just going to come run to you. And especially if you're sitting at the bottom and you got 2 baby daddies and 3 kids, never been married, sitting there expecting the world like it's a goddamn, what? I can't even get the word. I can't even get the words out, y'all. Oh my God. Like it's a soap opera or like some type of fake TV show, or I don't know, a fairy tale. You got to be more realistic. It's to the point where you got women, once again, and this is not an attack on your personal being, like who you are as a person. You might be a good person. I know a lot of good people who still aren't accountable for their actions. There are a lot of good people. Good people will give you the shirt off their back, but they still have other issues. When it comes to relationships, see, you could be a good person, and a lot of good women, yes, who are good people, fun. And then you're just like, damn, if you would just tweak some of the other things you got going on, you would be a good catch. But it's just somehow entrenched in them to be the way they are, and they don't want to change it, and they're comfortable there. And some of them still don't understand why they can't get this fairy tale lifestyle, because society has made them think that, we're all 10s and we all can get the same things, no matter what you've done in your past, no matter how you were raised, no matter how you are as a person. Just because you're a woman, you're a 10 and you should get 10 results. You should get higher up. You should be able to get, the best thing out there. And it just doesn't work like that. Successful MD says good equals stupid to these hyenas, child. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. And that's the way it's looking, and it's like, and once again, I said this too. Look, if you're happy with where you are, I'm happy for you. If you like it, I love it. I don't have a problem if you have a certain preference and you are happy with that. If you want to be, single and you enjoy your singleness and you don't care about a man and you don't care about growing with someone and all of that, and you're happy with where you are, and I'm happy for you. Live your life. Do you? We all have to make our own choices. Do you live your life? And that's fine, but that's not who I'm speaking to. It's the ones who put these videos out and complain about not getting what they want and just blaming it all on men. That's where you got to stop. Stop doing that. We wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't even be able to talk about this if it wasn't for the unrealistic expectations that a lot of women have, but they don't think that they have to make any changes to be what they need to be for the men that they say they want. No accountability whatsoever. And I think that's the thing that's hindering relationships. And I think that's where a lot of women can change and do better. That's really it. You're correct. Married women after me, I'll pass. Child. Successful MD. Thank you once again for the super chat. It's just a mess. And I just think that's where a lot of women can do better. That's all. We all can do better, but when you're out here complaining about an outcome and you don't want to do anything to better your chances for it, that's called insanity to me. That's an insane way to think. And I think they're realizing that, but at the same time, pride won't let them be honest about it and talk about it. And you see a few more women out here talking about the unrealistic expectations of a lot of these women, but some of these women just will not settle. They just will not settle. Let's move on to the next clip that I have for you guys. Here we go.
Thinking about is that though women, we outnumber men, and there are more good women available than there are good men available. I had to think about some. Men don't have a lot of options to pick from neither nowadays. Think about it. A lot of these, first of all, they lead with their body because they ain't got no substance. They lack integrity, don't have no morals, don't know their worth, don't even know what the fuck it is that they want in a person. Haven't healed from childhood trauma. Still walking around with the band-aid off the wound that hasn't quite healed. Yeah. Y'all don't have many options to pick from. A lot of these get on here and they looking to be tricked on or to trick on somebody. Like, think about it. Men don't have a lot of options to choose from neither. Now that I think about it, they got a lot of options to choose from when it comes to fucking. But to get a man to commit, ooh, and to get that love and to feel safe and to feel vulnerable the way that they want to and to be transparent, yeah, that's very fucking slim for them. Because one thing it is, it's hard for a man to even commit. It's hard. But he don't even have that many options to even choose from these days, because a lot of these women don't even know how to be women to their men. They walking around with this feminine masculinity and they want to wear the panties and the fucking boxers too. Yeah, y'all fuck too.
She said they want to wear the panties and the boxers. You know, she ain't lying. You know, it's just what it is. And I really wish women who think like that or who were taught that way would just really wake up and realize, you know, that is not it. That is not it. Especially if you really want a stable relationship, you really want commitment, you really want marriage, you really want to have something that's meaningful in your life and really have a family that's growing and prospering and a man and all the whole 9 yards building together and really having something good. The way they're going about it is just not going to work. And we see it. It is not conducive to a healthy, long-lasting, stable relationship, marriage, whatever. It's just not. And I really wish women would take heed to that and really just listen and try to change, you know, the way you think, your mentality, and let everything just follow suit, you know, because it's just never going to work. You're going to constantly see more and more single mothers, single women thinking that it's okay to be single mothers and your kids don't need a father and things of that nature. It's just not conducive to what these women say they want. A lot of these women, like she said, they just want somebody, honestly, to pay their bills, because I think the women who think like that, they think that way because they don't believe or feel, you know, that they can really get a man who's going to truly love them and truly be there for them and truly be committed to them. So the next best option is to just, let me just try to get money out of these, because that's all it's about nowadays. These men aren't loyal. These men don't really want relationships. So you know what? I'm just going to play the game. Let me get a coin out of them. I just want to get a coin. I can't get commitment. I can't get marriage. If I can't get married, then I'm just going to play and get coin and try to get as much as I can out of these ninjas, because that's all they feel they could get. A lot of these women don't believe that they could ever get a man who will marry them. There are women out here who never thought about marriage, never thought highly enough of themselves to think that a man would even really want to commit to them, ever. They're the ones who are insecure. They're the ones who don't value themselves or feel like they have any high value enough to even think that a man would eventually or actually want to marry them. So this is why they just say, you know, F it. You know, I'm just going to get money out of them if I can, because that's all I can get anyway. But while a lot of women think like that, they never think about changing their behavior or changing their mindset or really trying to work on themselves to really see if it's possible to get what they actually really want. A lot of women want to get married, but they just never thought about it because their mamas wasn't married. They didn't see a lot of people in their neighborhood getting married. All they saw was women having babies, and they're like, okay, well, if I ain't gonna get a man who gonna commit to me or want to marry me, you know. Well, I do want kids, so I'm just going to get my kids, and I'm not worrying about a ninja. And then they get the kids, and it's difficult and it's hard, and then you see them out here crying and breaking down because they don't know what to do. Nobody ever told them what it was really like to be a single mother and how to raise kids. They just thought it was cute, and their mama looked like she was doing just fine. Yeah, you know, my mama raised us, we just fine. Even though you know your mother struggled raising y'all, oh, whatever, she still made it through. So you saw her struggling, but that wasn't enough for you to think twice about going out and make a baby because you just want kids, because you don't think you'll get a man to commit to you, not realizing how difficult your journey was going to be. That it's difficult raising a child by yourself. Well, like I said yesterday, it's hard even when you have help. So if you're out here doing it all by yourself, you got to understand that that's going to be super difficult. It's going to be very challenging. Not saying you can't do it, because look, I'm a product of a single mother, and I think I turned out okay. Even though I have issues or have had issues also. I'm never going to sit and act as if I'm perfect and I don't have issues. Oh, hell yeah. There's a lot of things I had to work through and still have to work through as a result of being raised under a single mother who didn't have a husband, didn't have a man, but there was a stepdaddy at some point. You know what I'm saying? And so you can't come out of that unscathed. You can't come out of that without any issues. It's just what it is. But you have to acknowledge, because as you become an adult, you can't constantly just blame that on the fact that you was raised by a single mother. You have to take accountability as an adult and start to do things to work on yourself. Yes, I can acknowledge I came from a single mother household. And I can definitely tell you, oh my God, that was horrible. Love my mother and everything. But what I'm saying is that was a lot. We didn't have a lot. We didn't have a father figure for, really there to teach us, about men and that side of it. We had a mother who was there and didn't give us the tools that were needed. She never said marriage was important because she didn't have it. They don't want to tell you that because they didn't have it. Because then you're going to look around and say, well, why weren't you married? So they avoid a lot of things because they don't want to accept accountability themselves. So you raise children under that same guidance with that same information. And usually those children is like what they call a generational curse. They grow up, they don't get married. They have children out of wedlock, never get married. They become single mothers. They think men ain't this and men ain't that because that's all we ever heard. And then you're supposed to grow up and say, oh, well, my mother was a single mother and she did everything she could. And, and she raised us just fine. See, my thing is this. I don't look at it quite like that for whatever reason, or Lord, like maybe, so maybe somebody was praying for me. Maybe there was something else. I don't know. But I recognize, because I know a lot of people who ignore the struggles that they mother, and they ignore the things that they missed out on, ignore the struggle they had, the lack thereof of having what you needed, being raised by a single mother who, didn't have enough for the children. As you, the product of that, somehow we're supposed to ignore that and just say, oh, she did everything she could. She was so great. And let's just accept that. Well, for some reason, I didn't just accept that. And I saw ways where it could have been better and choices that could have been made. But at the same time, I can't control that. So I got to just grow up in that and live life as that, seeing that it could have been something different. But I'm a child, so I can't do anything. And I'm suffering as a result. And having that struggle as the child in that environment, I knew that's something that I didn't want if I had children. Does that make sense? And so I think a lot of people see it. And I know a lot of men who resent their mothers for this very same reason. But now we're supposed to grow up and act as if, oh, our mothers did everything she could and she raised us the best she could. And I'm like, well, your best wasn't good enough. And I understand it was a struggle, and then there was no accountability, and then still it's like they still didn't learn. This is why I speak on it, because I've lived it and I see it for what it is. I'm not trying to take any or add any. I'm just looking at it for what it actually was, because I was a product of that. And I realized the struggles we had, not having the things that we need, things of that nature. And this is the stuff that a lot of people in general don't want to talk about, because you don't want it to make it seem like you're putting down your parents or whatever that you're exposing them. And I get it, because you don't want to, but that, to me, that is part of the problem. That's where it stems from. A lot of these women are talking about men are so bad and so this because they didn't have a father. And a lot of times their mothers told them that their fathers were deadbeats, that your father was a problem. So now they automatically have an issue with men because they didn't have that man in their lives, and they wanted him. They wanted him there. They wanted him there. So now you're taking your anger and your frustrations out on men because you weren't raised with your father. You wanted your father. That was a missing part in your life. So now you look at all men and put your father that wasn't present for you. Now you're blaming all men for that because you were raised without him. You know the struggles you went through not having extra support. But what they don't do is look at the mothers and say, what were you thinking? Because I know I did. You didn't look at your kids as enough or look at the lack that they were facing, the things that they didn't have, and that you're the only one here providing. You didn't think that we could have used, more help. You doing it by yourself didn't suffice. So at what point that you think, you know what, I really want to give the best for my kids, so let me get my stuff together. Let me do what's right. And I know a lot of women think, well, you don't need to have no man, or you should. No, but even if you were, because a lot of these women were teen mothers, right? So they weren't doing, they didn't know any better or whatever. They just made choices that they didn't know were going to be bad for them. You give them that. Okay, the first time you made a mistake. At what point were you ever going to grow up and realize how important it is to give your kids the best that you possibly can, so that they don't have to at least struggle, that you can. When do you ever think, you know what, I made a poor decision. Let me learn from that. Let me do better. Let me stop trying to hit the streets and club and party my life away, knowing that I have kids to take care. It's a whole lot. I get it. That's all I say. I get it. And I don't take or add from it. I look at it for what it exactly is and make my decisions based on that, or my opinions are based on that, because a lot of these women make excuses for themselves and they put it all on the men. And once again, I've seen this right in front of me. And so we're supposed to grow up thinking, oh, these men ain't ish, and I did, and I'm your mom, and I did it the best I could, and then on top of that, I don't really need no help. I raised my kids. That's supposed to be a badge of honor, and we're supposed to look at it as such. And that's how I know a lot of women think. In my age, in my generation, and even the next generations, you're taught to look at that as a badge of honor and to respect that and think that it's okay. And when you do that, you perpetuate the cycle. And so it's hard. There's some people who escape that and realize, nah, I'm not looking at that as a badge of honor. I'm not looking at that as something to be proud of, because I was a product of the struggle. Hell, I was a product of the struggle. So I don't want my kids to struggle like that. I don't want to have to struggle like that. If it was you struggle so bad, why would you continue to perpetuate that? Why would you, if these single mothers have to struggle so bad, why don't you tell your children to try something else? Pick a different option. Don't go down the path that I did, because it's a struggle. Why don't they tell them that? Because once again, and I don't care if it's your mothers, your grandmothers, whoever it is, they want you to stay in that sunken place with them. Misery loves company. They want you to be there. They hate to see you rise above that, because it makes them look small. Like I said, baby, I could write a book on this. What the hell? I found out, don't mention Kevin Samuel's name. LOL. What's going on? Louis, what's going on? What the hell? How are you? That's crazy. But it's an entrenched mindset, and it doesn't really help, because it points to you and it says, oh, you messed up. You made a mistake and it didn't work. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that you made a mistake, as long as you're willing to do something differently. But not having any accountability just keeps you it doesn't require you to make any changes. So you're open to keep on making the same mistakes, and people are just supposed to continue to say, oh, it's okay, pat you on the back. Oh, it's okay. You don't need to do nothing differently. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's all good. The man is the problem. It's a cycle. Successful MD says there will be 100 and 0 for a Pookie, pay for everything while he drives her car, but productive men are expected to be fools for their lying tongues. Exactly. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat. Exactly. It's crazy. It's just they've gotten away with that for so long to now, the jig is up and they're not prepared for it. Thank you, Successful MD, once again. Paul Harrison, thank you so much again. Paul Harrison says, the middleweight champion DeeDee is hitting ignorance with a series of hard lefts entitled Eliminating Body Blows and Anti-Man Hating Uppercuts. Stop the fight. It's over. It's over. You know how they're going to scream? It's over. It's over. DeeDee wins again. Excuse me, y'all. I'm crazy. It's the fight. That's how you're supposed to say it like the referee. Thank you, Paul Harrison, for the generous super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming through with the $100 super chat. I thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And the super chat was funny. Thank you. I appreciate you. Baby, listen. It's a mess. So I say it because I've experienced it. A lot of the things that I'm saying is from my experience and just common sense. Successful MD says they think a Nobel Peace Prize is for single moms. Right. And it's not, Successful MD. Thank you once again, Successful MD, for the super chat. Yeah, it's not, it's just a reality a lot of these particular women don't want to face. And I get it. I totally get it. I get it. But at what point do we stop being delusional? At what point do we start realizing that this ignorance and this delusional mentality is hurting? It's not helping you. It's not hurting. You want men to be like Successful MD just said. You want men to be delusional with you. You want them to ignore things that they know would not be in their best interest to just satisfy you. It's all about satisfying you, giving you what you want in spite of. And if women are out here talking about you need somebody to make you happy and you will not sacrifice your happiness, then what do you think men want to sacrifice their happiness for somebody that's not even worth it? Even though I don't think happiness 24/7 is not reasonable. But if you want happiness in your life with somebody, why do you think men are supposed to just settle for you with all of your BS and all the things that you have not worked on? Why shouldn't men? And once again, this goes to back what I used to say, how women just think men are stupid. Y'all think that men are just these unintelligent robot type men who don't have feelings and are not human. That you could say anything you want to them, disregard their feelings, disregard them, disrespect them, treat them as if they're not humans, while they should give you the utmost respect and just treat you like royalty and do everything for you, while you just sit back and disregard their feelings, treat them bad, don't reciprocate anything. Just do whatever you want. And there's, as men, because they're men, that's what they're here. You think a man is here to just cater to you and give you the world while you sit back and just show him how disrespectful you are? And I think when these women, if they have sons and they care about their sons, I don't think you want that for your sons, or do you? Or do you care? Because I sure don't want that for my sons. And I think just maybe, it might take for their sons to grow up and realize if a woman like them showed up in their son's lives, he bring her home and she's, talking like they're talking, maybe it'll take that for them to realize that that's not what should be happening. I don't know. Successful MD says peace over a piece of box any day. Exactly. Thank you, Successful MD, once again. Yeah. And this is how a lot of men think, successful MD. A lot of men are thinking this way. They're realizing it's not worth it. Their peace of mind is much more worth having to deal with somebody like this who are unaccountable, they're not self-aware. You don't care about anybody else but yourself. You're selfish, self-centered, unrealistic, combative, just all of it. And not even trying to work on yourself to do better. It's just a lose-lose situation. And see, that's why I say, look, I know I'm a woman. I know the nature of women. I've seen it up close and personal, how women act, how they think. A lot of what these women are saying, I've heard it maybe in a slightly different way, but it all the same. And I'm just not here for it. I just think that it's just not, we're in 2024, but they've been talking like this. This is not anything really new. Social media just has blown it up and exposed these women. But I've seen a lot of this already. It's no different. And this is why, people talk about, I saw a video the other day where they were saying, married people don't really know. I mean, that's BS. I'm married, but I know what's going on. I see, and once again, I'm married and I've been out the game for a long time, but I still know what the game, it hasn't really changed much. Social media just has broadened it and brought it to the forefront. Women have been doing this stuff for years. Just a lot of men, I don't think, have been privy to it. They didn't know, a lot of men have thought that, women were just innocent and they just, they wouldn't do certain things. And now they see the nature of a lot of these women. I've been seeing this for years. And ain't nothing really have changed, to be honest with you. It's just more exposed. And we're just in a new year, 2024. These women, and if you've had men out who were no good and who were like what we call Pookie, because I don't know if they called them Pookie and Ray Ray back then. It was just low down, dirty ninjas back then, deadbeats and bums or whatever. But if we've always had low down, dirty Pookie and Ray Rays back then, we still have them now. So you got to know that these same type of women existed back then. They were no different. Women been cheating on men and having babies by other men and making that man think the baby was his. This is not a new phenomenon. It's really not. It's just the men didn't know any better, raising children their whole lives, thinking them children was theirs. And then the thing that was happening back then, the women would get into altercations with the men and put the men in jail. And then by the time he come out of jail, she done had a baby or she pregnant. Let's talk about it. You cause a scene and cause an issue with him, lock him, put him in jail. Now, I'm not excusing that. If he did something to go to jail, he need to go to jail. I've seen this like close. I've experienced this as a child. The stepdaddy, y'all get into an issue. She calling him all kind of BA ninjas, and you know what I mean? Just talking about, just really going in. And they get into it, or now you done push them to react. And now he's in jail. Not excusing his behavior, not excusing her behavior. But then he goes to jail, then, they go get babies for other dudes. And guess what? The dude get out of jail and come right back. Very toxic. And you do that for so long, and then you end up not together. Those relationships never last. They never last. But when it's all said and done, he was the problem. Growing up, everybody had a stepdaddy. There was never really the dads weren't in the household. Everybody made babies and were single mothers, and then they had stepdaddies. That, and that's not an issue. A lot of these women were teen mothers. They were out there being reckless young women with reckless young men, getting pregnant, having sex at 14 and 15, and you shouldn't even be doing that. They didn't have fathers in their lives to balance that out. You only have your mother who was a teen mother, then you end up being a teen mother, then her kid becomes a teen. It's a cycle. And if you don't start looking at the root of this behavior and changing it, it's going to continue to happen. None of this stuff that is happening is new. And this is why I don't understand why we have people who condone this and think that it's not an issue, and it's not an issue with the women, but it's only an issue with the men. You got to be insane. These women play a big role in this. And then it goes down to the mothers. Okay, she thought it was okay to be a single mother. My child don't need a father. I can do it by myself. Then her child grows up and does the same thing. Oh, my child don't need a father. I can raise by myself. Not understanding you're creating a cycle that is conducive to unhealthy children. These children need fathers. The imbalance is part of why all this is happening. You didn't have a strong foundation to stand on. So what do you get? You get weak. You get unbalanced outcomes. So when I hear women say, "Oh, my children don't need a father. I could do it by you're making a mistake." But it's something that's been ingrained, something that's been entrenched within them to make them think that's okay, and they don't really understand the seriousness of it. And I really think that that's a major part of the problem. They don't see how serious this is. But then when your children grow up and you have sons, and these sons grow up, which women are complaining about now, crying all over social media, talking about they don't know what to do with their sons. These young men grow up and become bigger than you, stronger than you. You're a woman. These young men got to grow up to be grown men. And these men I look at my sons, way taller than me, strong, young, strong men. These women can't do nothing with these men. And the first thing they want to do is turn them over to the system and give them away because you can't handle it by yourself. And they don't have fathers because you didn't choose men who wanted relationships and wanted to be a parent, and because you didn't care about it either. You just was the one that had to carry the child. So you don't think about the future. You know, they talk as if these children are going to stay babies forever. No, they grow up really fast. And they ask questions too. They want to know certain things too. And this is why you have a bunch of these young people who actually resent their mothers, resent her choices. And they don't want that because you're supposed to regard her in the highest, and of course you respect your parents, yes, but you're still you're not oblivious. You're not blind to reality. You shouldn't be. So I think that's a major part of the problem. And I just think it's been perpetuated. It's been entrenched, ingrained in your head to where you think that is okay. And then the consequences of it all, you don't know what to do. You're lost and confused because nobody ever prepared you for the future. You've never been prepared for the outcomes. You only been told, "Oh, just do this. It's okay. It's okay. You don't need no man. Children don't need a father." And what does that look like? Yeah, it leads to a lot of trauma, a lot of unresolved issues, a lot that goes on in that child's head that the parents don't want to acknowledge. You don't want to acknowledge that your children got to grow up seeing other children with both parents, wishing they had both parents, looking at other kids where the father is playing, basketball with their sons or throwing the ball or doing things, taking them to the park, playing with them. They have two parents. You just got a mama. You got to go and play football or basketball with somebody else's dad. They don't think about the psychological effects that have on children. If you think that young women, they usually say girls, are daddy's girls, that the daughters gravitate more to their fathers, which is true. I see it with my own kids. And the daughters gravitate to their fathers more because that, it's I don't know, it's just it's what it is. It's like I don't know if that's the opposite thing. Yeah, they love their mothers and we have a bond, but they, it's just a difference when it comes to them and their fathers. It's like they look at them a certain way. It's it's just what it is. It's a beautiful thing to see, you know. But it just shows you that balance is necessary. It's important to have both. Now, once again, and this is for people who would say, well, I was raised by a single parent and I'm good. Yeah, I was too. I think I came out okay. But I would be lying if I said, oh, I didn't have issues as a result of that. Hell yeah, there's issues. There's issues. There's things you definitely have to work on. And there's definitely an effect there that occurred because of the upbringing and not having a real stable household. That affects you. And anybody saying that it didn't, I think is lying. Because you don't realize it right away, but and especially when you get in a relationship, that's when you realize your issues. That's when you realize that, oh dang, and you realize if you have your husband or spouse or whoever, was raised differently. If they had both parents, they think a certain way, they do things a certain way. Being raised in a single parent household, you think a certain way, you do things a certain way, and that can clash. There's a certain mindset that being raised in a single parent household that you have that's different for the most part, that's different from a person who was raised with two parents in a home. There's some differences and they could clash. And so I just think, and once again, this is not a one size fits all, but the majority of it is relevant. So I just think it's definitely something. I think a lot of modern day women, and not just modern day women, like I said, they were doing this back in the day too. This is not new. You try to minimize the importance of having two parents in a household because you were the only parent, because you went and had kids without marriage, and you don't want to accept that fact because it seems like it's something wrong with you, and nobody wants to believe that they might have an issue. Nobody wants to believe that they are the problem or they've contributed to the problem. Especially women. Women hate to be accountable. They hate to be accountable for their actions. It's always somebody else, even out to blaming God, child. It's God. God made me the way I am and caused me to do what I did. Oh yeah, they go to the church to blame others, even God. Use God as an excuse as to why you went out and opened your legs and made 3 children with three baby daddies. God made you do that? First off, God said you're not supposed to be doing that. So why would you try to blame him? Didn't God say you shouldn't be out here opening your legs and giving it to Pookie, Ray Ray, and Johnny Gill? I was about to say. Why did I say? Johnny Gill, child, Lord have mercy. Oh my God, I'm about to say Pookie, Ray Ray, and Johnny, and then Johnny Gill just came to mind, child. God didn't tell you to do that. He told you not to do that. Oh Lord, it's just crazy, child. It really is. You gotta laugh sometimes. I don't know. It's just crazy. It really is. Oh Lord. But want to use God when you don't have nobody else to blame it on. You go to that excuse. Oh, God has ordained me to do what I'm doing. Really? Everything that I'm doing, this is one I heard. Everything I'm doing, God knew I was gonna do. Really? You was how they say it? It was destined for you to be a 304, child. And God knew that you were destined to be a single mother and you was going to be out here. This was all preordained. Yes. By God. Lord, that's blasphemy. This is what God set you up to be a hoe. Come on now. Stop. It goes there. When you don't have nobody else to blame. Now God knew you was going to be a hoe. Oh yes. And he approved. What? But this is some of the Christians. Oh Lord. This is some of the Christians and how they talk. When you don't have nobody else to blame. Rob, God knew she would not change. It's crazy. Right. And God knew on the 7th day she'd be my. Y'all the trip. It's crazy though. But look, I've heard it all. And I heard that back in the day, honey. I didn't just hear that just now. So that just goes to show you it's been happening. It's not a new phenomenon. It is not. Social media just has pushed it out there for everybody to see, but this ain't new. Where do you think they get it from? Where do you think they learn this mentality from? This is just come out of the thin blue sky. They get it from their mamas, their grandmamas. They get it from the family. It's been passed down. They didn't just think of this stuff yesterday. This is why they refer to, the men aren't like the men of the back in the old days. My stepdad did this. Yeah, because he was a simp and he didn't know anything else but to be that. He thought he was doing a good thing. I'm not gonna be too harsh on them because they actually probably cared more than the mothers did. We really want to be honest. See, women like to focus on the negative men. The men out here who are actually deadbeats and actually don't care. They focus on that small group of men because you don't want to acknowledge the men who are actually out here doing the right things, because it makes you look bad and it points back to you, as you know, and forces the women to be accountable. So yeah, you want to focus on a small percentage of men who really don't care, and they don't care what you say, and they're going to do what they want to do regardless. You want to focus on them. You don't want to focus on the men who are actually trying to do the right thing, who now in today's society we would call simps, but those men were trying to do the right thing, the best they knew how with what they had. They're thinking, okay, this is a good woman. She got children, but all right, I got to take her as a package deal. I'm going to do that. But, you know, and I'm going to try to raise these kids as my own. That is a noble thing to do when you think about it. You know, those men were trying to do the right things. And these women, like that video that lady was saying, her mom was out there being a 304, didn't listen to him, didn't respect him, didn't do nothing he said. She was out there doing her thing in the streets while this man was at home taking care of her child. And she said to this day, that girl still have a relationship with her stepfather. He's still there for her. So if you think about it, he was doing something that was noble, that now most men don't want to do. But those men were like, okay, look, if I want to be with her and she have kids, then I'm going to take them kids on. I'm going to do the best I can with her and take care of her with the kids. But that wasn't enough for these women. That goes to show you, when you do stuff like that, these women don't appreciate it. They don't respect you still. They could care. If anything, they disrespect you more because they don't. It's like that you don't value a man who does things for you, or a man who would be willing to take you on to your kids. You don't respect them because deep down inside, they know something ain't right with that. You know you've been reckless. You know you out here just sleeping with whoever and creating kids. You know that's not right. This is why you don't respect the man who comes in and take on that responsibility. You would think she would look at him and be like, you know what? I really appreciate you so much for doing this, because most men wouldn't. Instead, you look at him as a sucker, because you know no man should be taking you on and taking care of your 3 kids from Pookie, Ray Ray, and Johnny. You know that man shouldn't be doing that. And you know you have issues. Deep down, you know you got issues. So any man who's willing to bypass or look over your issues, all your kids, and take you on, you even look at him like he's a super simp. Because you know most men won't do that. They know when they're dealing with a sucker. And so you treat him as such. So they're not completely oblivious. They know that something about that. That's why they don't respect those types of men. You want them to do that, but you don't respect them. You know it. So, you know, it's just a hot mess. And once again, I still say it's really up on the women to make the changes. And I do agree with what Love Dorsey was saying. Look, and when the men stop catering to these women and stop paying them any attention, it may force a lot of them to get their ish together. Some of them are just going to, you know, continue on their path. But a lot of them may start to realize, well, damn, we got to do something. The ones who just don't want to be by themselves going to have to realize they got to make some changes. And hopefully that's enough at this point, because now men are really skeptical about if these women are just being chameleons to get the men or what. So now you're going to have to really prove yourself. The very same thing that women don't want to do, they're going to end up having to do. That's just that. Let's move on, you guys. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Please hit the like button. Let's move on.
$100,000 is that much money. I don't think $100,000 is that much money to ask your man to make if you're making that much money.
Why not? 90% of the country makes $32,000 a year.
I didn't say.
So you're looking for the top 10%.
If you're in the top 10%, you should be looking for the top 10%. How's that not fair?
Because the top 10% of men have all the options. Why would he pick you making $100,000 when he could pick anybody?
She also has options.
The choice.
She don't have options. Men don't care about their money. If she's beautiful, she has options. Yes.
People with money have options.
No.
I think he's saying that men have more options when they're making that amount than women who are making that amount who want to find a guy who's making the same amount.
Right. The woman is looking for the top 10% of men. The man is looking at the 100% of women.
But why should she not be?
Because she's limiting her options at that point. I know these guys that make a lot of money. They don't want a woman making a lot of money because when they say we got to get up and go, they want to get up and go. They don't want the chick making $100,000 that got to go to the office. They don't want the chick that is the CEO of whatever business, because when they want to get up and go, they want to get up and go.
Do y'all still agree with what he's saying or disagree? Let me know. So basically, we've heard this before where women who make, a lot of money or a decent amount of money tend to look for men who make that same amount of money or more, right? They still want a provider. They still want a man who makes what they make or more, because women say, well, if he makes less, then they're not going to respect him. So what that means is you're going to make a choice, because all of this is a choice. It's a choice. You can choose, you choose if you want to disrespect somebody or not. It shouldn't be based off how much money they make, but let's just say that is the case because that's what they say. If the man makes more, somehow she's going to feel a certain way about that. She could make 100,000, he could make 90. She's still going to disrespect him. That is no excuse to disrespect a person. So you're going to disrespect him because he makes more money. And, somehow you need a man to make what you make or more for you to respect him. But at the same time, when he makes more, you still want him to provide 100% of the time. Make that make sense. I just will never understand that. But what they're saying in this video was, if you're in a certain tax bracket, you need to be looking for men in that same tax bracket, and that's fine. But what we're seeing is the women in that tax bracket can't seem to get a man in that tax bracket to want them. They can't seem to attract a man in that same tax bracket who takes them seriously and want to commit to them. Why is that? That's because the men, just like he said, in that tax bracket, and other men as well, are not looking for a woman. They're not looking at women based off of money. See, women are the ones who are looking at men based off of money. That's really it. And the men in that tax bracket aren't looking for those types of women. These women who tend to have these masculine traits, who tend to operate in their masculinity all the time just because they got a job and they make money. They are a certain way. That's not men and women are not attracted to the same thing. So when men say, oh, I'm not concerned about the money, it doesn't mean that you can't make money. It just means that they're looking for other qualities other than money. Women are looking for men who make a certain amount of money, and the qualities that seem to be at the top for women is finances. And the top level for men of what they're looking for women is not finances. So a lot of these women are shooting themselves in the foot. A lot of these women are acquiring things that's solely for you, really. It does not benefit a man that you make a whole lot of money. So you making a lot of money, being your own boss and all that is not an attraction for men. Not saying you can't work and make money, but that is not the highest That is not the main thing that men are. So when they say men aren't worried about your money, that means what they are attracted to is not your finances. See, women are going after things based off of men. They're looking at what men, what they want in a man, and they're trying to acquire that, thinking that that's what men want out of them. And that's where they miss. They're messed up. That's what the degrees are for. Let me get the highest degree so that I can qualify for the highest man. Let me make a whole lot of money so that I can be, on the level of a high value man. But what they're learning now is the same things that attract them to men are not what men are attracted to when it comes to them. That's what they're learning. And they don't know how to process that. Once again, they don't understand. So yeah, you work hard, you get all these degrees, you can make over 100,000 or 200,000 or whatever, or even more. That's going to benefit you. That doesn't benefit the man because you still want him to come in and pay everything. You still want him to make more, and you still want to be a sole provider financially. And on top of that, you're an independent woman. You've created your success. You've built yourself up. You don't want what he wants. You don't want to provide what he wants. He don't want an independent boss chick. He wants a submissive, friendly, cooperative woman. He wants a feminine woman that's cooperative. You know what I'm saying? A woman who's there. She doesn't have to be. I don't think men want, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think men want a woman who doesn't have a brain and just don't know how to make sense, or just dumb. That's what they try to reduce it to. No, you could be a smart woman. You don't have to be dumb and just don't know nothing. No, he wants a woman who has some sense, but not this dominant, independent woman who don't need a man, but I want one. And who's just so independent that everything y'all want to do is going to clash because she wants to do everything her way. And she's not even considering you. That's what ends up happening. So now we find these women who are super successful financially. They're not capable in most cases of working with men. And I see men all the time who say, hey, when they were dating their now wives, their women made money. There are men who even tell me their wives make more than them, but she's still a good woman. She still respects him, and she's a cooperative, submissive woman. She makes more, but she didn't take on that masculine role like she don't need her man. See, that's the difference. It's the mindset that comes with these women who are super successful. They don't know. They think, I've made it. I've been successful. I put a lot of work in, so you should be too. And you should be able to put. Men and women aren't the same. So you got to understand, the man that does well for himself, he may not make what you make or more, but that's still no reason for you to disrespect him. That's an excuse that they're making, and that is not something that you have to do. You don't have to be disrespectful and nasty and mean because you think you're everything since sliced bread and you're just the best of the best. So I need you to be best. You want to control these men like you control people on your job. You want to talk to them like you talk to other people, because honestly, a lot of women who are successful are bitches. Let's be clear. A lot of women who are super successful are bitches on wheels. Let me tell you that. So yeah, and they don't have to be. That's just who you are as a person. If you're like that, you're just a nasty person. That's it. And you treat everybody as such. So you get a man, you're going to treat him like your child and talk to him like you're going to emasculate him and disrespect. You're just a nasty person, because every woman that makes money is not like that. But they try to make excuses for it. Oh, because I got to be this on my job. Baby, trust me. You if you care about somebody and you love them, you can work wherever you work and come home and still hug and love your husband. You don't have to treat him like the people on your job. Stop. I don't believe that for one bit. If you're that way, you're just a nasty person in general. That's all I'm saying. That's how I see it. Successful MD says, prosty talk for conditional femininity. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD, once again. It's a mess. What's going on, Class C Perspective says women that make 100K and up are not the most joyful women to be around. And when men don't care about their money because you're not going to spend it on us and you expect us to pay for everything. Exactly, Classic Perspective. That's just what it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. It's just what it is. They're just nasty. And on top of that, you have money. And to me, money only brings out who you truly are. Who you truly are. And on top of that, you get some success, it just brings it out. It brings it out. It just make you more of what you already are. That's just it. You don't have to be that way. And then they're entitled, so they feel like I don't have to be other than what I are because than what I am, because I've worked so hard in my life and I got it out the mud, and I'd be damned if I'm going to let a man tell me what to do. That's the mentality. So that's why you see a lot of these successful women by themselves. This is why they're out here getting, sperm donors, and go and get their own babies, because men don't want to have no babies with you. Men don't want to be with you. Men don't want to deal with that attitude. You can have your success, your money, and your baby by yourself, because it's not conducive to a healthy relationship. Those men are going to catch hell. And you got to understand, if you make 200,000, $1 million, and this man makes 100,000 or more, or whatever he makes, he still worked hard for what he has. He shouldn't have to continue to constantly level up to meet your expectations for you to just turn around and still treat him badly. Come on, that's not well, no, men aren't settling for that. And I think that's what is happening. That's just what it is. A lot of these women who are super successful are held on wheels, bitches on wheels. They don't know how to cooperate. They don't know how to work with the man. It's going to be like you at work and working for her. It's like she's going to be your boss. Imagine that. You going home to a wife who acts like your boss. A woman who's controlling and telling you what to do every minute. A grown man, a woman doing that to a grown man? No, treating you like you're her child because she make more money than you. No, I don't think no man want to sign up for that. But listen, look, they're not doing it. This is why you don't see them women with men. This is why they're single, a lot of them. Attractive women, older, a lot of them, but they make a lot of money, but they can't get a man, because when they get in a relationship with a man, it ends because they're probably too controlling. They're just nasty. They don't know what they're doing when it comes to relationships. They're so successful on one hand, they don't have the tools. I said this before. Being successful, going to college does not prepare you for relationships. It doesn't prepare you on how to be cooperative with a man and working with a man. Working with a man don't mean that you're just a silent mute, where you just can't have any input. No, but it's the way you do it. And a lot of attractive women with degrees and are successful financially can be your worst nightmare. I'm just saying the truth. That's just what it is. And once again, it's not all of them, but a lot of them are, because they feel like they've worked so hard that you're supposed to bow down to them. No. And I don't think anybody should have to deal with that. Successful MD says Vivica, Taraji, Tracy Ross, Tia, Tiffany Haddish, Nia Long, Jada Pinkett, and many, many are examples of this of rich trash. Exactly, Successful MD. Exactly. And it's just those women are too. Thank you once again for the super chat. Spot on. Exactly. I was thinking a lot of them, but I didn't call their names out. But yeah, a lot of those women are just too successful for a man. They're too successful for a man. They can't do it. They can't do it because, first off, they think submission to a man, cooperation with a man, is beyond them. They're like, no, I've worked too hard. You've heard some of them say it. They have to be in the lead position. They hate to feel like they're not leading. They're not running the show. They need a more, a masculine man is too much for them. Because they're masculine. They're the leaders. They don't feel comfortable following a man's lead. And that's where the pushback is going to come in. They don't know how to be a follower. That's why it's Jada Pinkett and Will Smith had issues in their marriage, and they talked about it on the Red Table Talk, because she's more of a dominant woman. And look what she was doing, cheating on him, doing all this kind of stuff. And he's like, look, he's still loyal to her. He's like, we're not getting a divorce. He still would rather be married to this woman because he loves her in spite of all the shit that she's done. And really, this woman, if Tupac was alive, rest in peace to Tupac, and wanted her, she would have been left Will Smith. She'd have been left Will Smith. If she had that option, if Tupac was alive, if she had that option, she would run be with him and leave Will on the curb. She really would. Because that's who she really cared about. And that's the type of guy that a lot of women go after, Tupac. His swag, he was not an ugly guy, attractive guy, swag and all that. And he didn't want her, he didn't take her seriously. He didn't want to be with her. But if he wanted to be with her, oh hell, Will would have never been an option. Just saying. Classic Perspective says Giselle Bundchen make more money from Victoria's Secret modeling than the greatest quarterback to play in the NFL, Tom Brady, and she's trying to take his property and earnings. LOL, it's crazy. They're never satisfied too. It's you're never satisfied. A lot of it's just crazy, and a lot of this you can't change. It's just what it is. Thank you, Classic Perspective, for the super chat. Scorched Earth says they want marriage without accountability. Without accountability, shaking my head. That's true. Thank you for the super chat, Scorched Earth. It's true. Well, a lot of them want marriage without any accountability and without putting in any work. They think it's supposed to be easy. The same way a lot of women are complaining about motherhood. They want it to be easy. They want it to be easy. They think everything should be a walk in the park. Any amount of work that you have to put in is too much. They want the soft girl life. They want to be able to do whatever it is they want. They want it all to be easy, and they want you to provide that soft girl life forever without any accountability. They want to be able to move and do what they want to do, and they want you to just accept it because you're a woman with a vagina. So that's what men are supposed to do, accept whatever women choose to do, accept their behavior. Accept it all, and you're just supposed to sit back on the sidelines and let it happen. And men are saying, "Hell no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that." Let's move on. I have another clip I want to play for you guys. Now, this is girl. I don't know. Her name is. I want y'all to tell me what y'all thinking of. I think her name is Scarred Lip or something. Let me know if y'all familiar with her. I just saw this clip. Let me know what you think of this. Here we go.
Your father.
Stop playing. Stop talking about my father. Stop talking about my father, bro. What about that?
You think I'm pretty, baby?
You're beautiful, man. Sometimes.
What that mean?
I mean, sometimes. Sometimes.
Am I pretty right now?
No, not right now. Definitely not right now. Definitely not. I'm looking a little.
I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I love y'all. I don't feel like being on live no more. So your dad don't think I look pretty right now?
Not like right now, but like sometimes. You feel me?
Well, I don't know what to think about that. Love you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Love you guys.
So I think her name, y'all know her? I think her name is Scarred Lip or something to that effect. So she asked her, I don't know what her name is. Scarred Lip, I think. I don't know, child. Yeah, Scarred Lip. So she asked her boyfriend, I'm assuming that's her boyfriend, if he thought she was pretty. And he said, yeah, but then he says sometimes, and she asked him, y'all saw the clip, do he think she's pretty right now? He said no. And she ended the live because she didn't like that. And there were women who were going in on him in the comments. They were like, girl, you need to leave him, and he don't appreciate you, and this and that. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think him saying, you know, in front, because he knew she was live. So do you think that him saying that he didn't think she was pretty right then, that he was wrong for saying that? Do you think he was wrong for saying that, or what? Or was he just being honest? And do you think your man should always think you're pretty, whether you're all done up or not? You know, what do you think of that? Because that's what a lot of women were saying, that, oh, he should think that you're pretty regardless. You know how men say that they like a woman who's natural, you know, in her natural state, without the weave, without the hair. So when she's all done up with the makeup and stuff, she look a little different. But without that, she didn't have any of that on. Do y'all think that he was being disrespectful to her by saying, no, he don't think she did, she looked pretty right then? What do y'all, what's your thoughts on that? Let's see. Validation pitch will give her a subscriber. Huh? I don't know that. Women lie to other women. Yes, they do. Mia's Bell says no. He good. He was not wrong. He was being honest. If a woman asks that, see, this is what we as men got to deal with. The ones going in on him like to be lied to feel better about themselves. She wanted the lie. Couples Light says. Scarlip is a female rapper. Yes, she is a rapper. He told her the ugly truth. Joe Mama. First off, you're not putting me on live. Okay. Class is perfected. Please explain yourself. Okay. He fed up, so he said the truth. The lie only sustains her delusion. He told the uncomfortable truth, and most women can't handle it, is what David says. I would have looked at her and said, bruh. Tell her to walk out in public like that. Oh, she probably, well, I mean, she was on live. I don't think she'll. Am I pretty? Am I getting fat? Do I need to lose weight? Take her out to dinner like that. No, don't lie to me, because I already know she knew she was rough right there. Oh, it's too much. They want you to lie to them. I would not be with the woman if I didn't think she was pretty, even at her worst. Gotcha. That's what you hate. For what? Says take her for drinks looking like that. She was wrong for asking and not being able to handle the truth. Maybe. Right, says, why do women ask these types of questions? She did not look beautiful in that live. These are always gotcha questions. What he should have been saying was no from the very beginning, because she is very unattractive, and that's being real and truthful about it. It's a fire. It's a fire. No money. More money movie. I would never take. Wait. DeeDee, she has another video recording a man who didn't last long in bed, so she left. She tries to make people look bad. Oh, wow. Her rap career is what gives her worth. They encourage men to lie to them. Women like lies. She doesn't excuse confidence in herself. Yeah, that, listen. I don't know what to think about that. You know what I mean? He says she looks pretty. Sometimes. He says sometimes. So, at that moment, he didn't think she looked pretty. He said she looked a little crazy or whatever, and seems like she got mad about it. So I don't know what to think about that, because, like I said, I haven't had that experience. It depends. It depends. If I think if you with somebody, you should think they are attractive no matter what. Let me tell you, of course, I mean, when you have to go out in public, you comb your hair, right? You comb your hair, you look presentable. You don't just go places with your hair all over your head. So you still need to comb your hair. You need to get dressed. It's not really about all the makeup and stuff all the time. You do that, sparingly, I'm speaking of myself. But what I'm saying is, if you're laying in a bed and y'all chilling and your wig is off and your hair is not combed, the man that you're with should still find you attractive. I'm just be real. He should, you know, I can think of myself looking the worst, hair all over my head, not combed, no makeup, no nothing, chilling. And my man could look at me and still say, "Oh, you're gorgeous." Oh my God. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He still look at me and still think I'm gorgeous. With no makeup, no hair, no nothing, no nothing. He still look at my face, just my bare face, and still finds me attractive. So I think if somebody finds you attractive, you don't need to get dolled up. You don't need all that extra stuff. They still find you attractive. So I think the way he looking at her, he's being honest. He said, "No, I don't think you look good." He just don't think she look good at all. And maybe he's just attracted to the dolled up side of her. He's just looking at the makeup and hair side. He thinks she look good like that, but he don't think she looks good without it. But I mean, if we really gonna be honest, then that speaks to, well, some men, how they look at you as being attractive as the dolled up, the makeup, the hair and stuff. And without it, they don't see you the same. So maybe some men feel like that with certain women, and they would rather you keep all the hair and the makeup on because they like that look on you better than your natural look. So maybe that's why some women wear those wigs and wear the makeup like that, because certain men only are attracted to that fake look. They're not really attracted to you without it. So maybe that speaks to why they wear it. Can we agree on that? That maybe, and I don't think that's for all men, but if that's what he's saying, because he's saying sometimes, and if her natural appearance is not what he's attracted to, then he's attracted to the fake part of her. Christopher says, "Yes, DeeDee, but your demeanor helps you to be attractive towards your hubby. Now I gotta like you in the natural as well as made up." Yes, Roddy. Yeah. They don't recognize them without it. It's a costume. Right. That's what I'm saying. So listen, I wouldn't want to put on that facade and have a person be attracted to that. Because when you take that off, then they're kind of looking at you sideways like, you don't look the same. I'm like, this is my real look. This is why I think it's important to look. Like I said before, I wear it all, makeup, all of it, but I don't wear it all the time. So back in the day when I met my husband, I barely wore any of it. So he got to see my face. You see what I look like is pretty much what I look like with makeup or without it. So he got to see what I look like when we would, go places. I didn't wear makeup. Like I didn't have no makeup on. It was just my bare face. So you saw my natural face. So so that's why he was attracted to what he saw. I didn't transform. That's why I don't think that it's good to have all of that stuff on so thick and where you look like a totally different person. And then when a person get to see your natural look for real, they looking like, you look nothing like yourself. So they're not really attracted to you. So I think, look, if you really want to get somebody who truly is attracted to you for you, you got to take all that shit off. You can't really be walking around with pounds of makeup and that hair, because that makeup and hair really transform you. Oh my God, there was a man in another country who divorced his wife when she took the makeup off. Because he said she's a false representation of herself. She looked nothing like herself. She changed her skin color like 2 shades lighter. Like she was 2 to 3 shades lighter. Her skin had issues. She covered all that up. She looked like a different woman. And he was attracted to that because he had never really he thought that was, he never seen her without it. And when he saw her without it, he wanted a divorce, which was funny as hell to me, but it is what it is. So I would think you would want to show a person what you truly look like to make sure that they really are attracted to you, because that hair and makeup really transform you and you can look like a totally different person. Oh yeah. So that's why I'm against that. And I think a lot of men are too. They would rather see you in your natural state. And don't know what happened to, like, when you dating somebody, yes, you want to look as presentable as possible when y'all go out or whatever. And at some point, when y'all just chilling, you don't have all that makeup on. I mean, it's like it's almost like somebody said a costume, right? You wear that all the time. Like, there are women, and this is not just black women. There are some white women too who go to sleep with their makeup on. Yeah. I personally know some white women who say they sleep in their makeup, and I'm like, girl, how the hell you sleep in your makeup? That is going to irritate your skin. But they say they want their man to wake up to their face made up. They don't want their man to see them without the makeup on because they don't like how they look. So they go to sleep with the makeup, wake up, they get up early in the morning before he wakes up and do their full face. So when he gets up, he can still see them looking like that, because that's probably what he is attracted to. You don't want him to see you with your natural face because you're scared he's going to want to leave you, and then he don't really like the way you look. That's the insecurity, a major one. Successful MD says a popular YouTube creator had plastic surgery. Who is that? Who you referring to, Successful MD? I don't know. I think I know who you might be talking about, but who you talking about, Successful MD? You could tell me. I think I already probably know who you're talking about, but who you talking about? Tell me. But yeah, yeah, where they sleep in it, they don't want him to, because they're insecure. Thank you, Successful MD, for the super chat, because they don't want the man to see them, where they naturally look. Successful MD, who you talking about? Who had the plastic surgery? Couples Light says deception. Joe Mama says makeup equal lies. It is. It does. It really does. I mean, let's just be honest. I wear makeup. I wear extensions. I wear it all. Okay. I don't wear it all the time because I like makeup. I was a makeup influencer at some point. I got a lot of sponsorship deals for makeup and things like that to promote certain brands. Women love makeup. Every man, if you black, white, whoever, women love makeup. It enhances. Makeup is supposed to be something to enhance the features that you have, not change your entire face. You should be able to see what I look like with the makeup. People should be able to still see your features with makeup on. But now there are techniques, which is not new, techniques that actually change your features or enhance features or create features that are not there. If you have if you don't have a strong jawline or whatever, or, there, you can put makeup to enhance that or create that. If you have a round face and you want to create cheekbones, you can do contour, which enhance or make you look like you have cheekbones. Makeup is contouring. There's things that enhance features, and there's things you can do to create features that you don't have. You know what I'm saying? So makeup can definitely transform your look to where you look completely different, or it can enhance the features that you already have, which the enhancements don't transform you. It just enhance what's already there. So it highlights what you already have. If you don't have them, that's when it becomes a transformer thing, where you transform into somebody totally different. And so this is why when you see people who take their makeup off, you don't see any resemblance to their natural features. They look totally different. That's when it becomes a scary thing, where a man could see you with done up and he's like, oh my gosh, she's so gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, right? And he get to talking to her, and this is when they don't want to take it off because they know what they look like without it. So then when they finally take it off, he's like, oh my God. If he's shocked because like, dang, she looked nothing like herself. You look told. So now, yeah, a man could not be attracted to that because now you don't look like you. You look like he was attracted to what he thought you looked like, not this other person underneath. So yeah. Successful MD says MK had the Michael Jackson special. MK had the Michael Jackson special. Melanie, oh yeah, it's about Melanie King. You know, shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Melanie. I love her content, but I think I kind of knew that's who y'all was talking about. Shout out to her. You know, if you want to get enhances or whatever, that's your business. But I think that's who y'all was talking about. I did see earlier pictures of her, and I could see the difference. I definitely could see the difference. Thank you for the super chat, Successful MD. Yeah, I see the difference. Yeah, I definitely see the difference. But you know, shout out to her. I'm not mad if you want to change some things about yourself. You know, a lot of people have done work on themselves one way or another. But you know, there are some people who try to hide it and lie about it and say they've never done anything. That's where I'm like, look, if you want to do something to enhance yourself, I'm not mad at it. But I just think when you hide it or lie about it, which is nobody's business if you did it. But I mean, if especially if you're on social media, people notice stuff. You know, people notice things like things that you've changed. If you're doing something to change yourself for the better, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's your mentality over everything. With how you think. If you change something and you start thinking that your ish don't stink and you better than people are going to notice that as well. So I don't look. It's up to you if you want to do stuff. Some people take it too far though, where a lot of people I see who've had work done, they look better before, and there are some people who look better after. But then sometimes it becomes a thing where you're doing too much, you get addicted to it, and you do too much, and then they have them duck lips where they, oh my God, it just gets scary looking, and now they think that makes them look a whole lot better when it actually don't. Some people look better without it, from what I've seen. The Mrs. O show says makeup takes the feminine features from women, and with men, it hides their masculine features. Thank you so much for the super chat, Mrs. O. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but yeah, I think with the makeup and all of that stuff, and you got to realize too, if you do changes to your face, you got to understand when you have kids, your children are going to show your true features. If you get a nose job and you get your nose, your kids are going to show what you really look like, because they come out with the big nose. They come out with the, whatever it is you're changing, your children are going to show what it really looks like too. So you gotta realize that too. Because I saw something, what's her name? From the Kardashians, Khloe, I think Khloe had mentioned that her son looks nothing like her. And baby, and I think Tasha K talked about that. Let me tell you something. When I saw her son, I'm like, child, he looks just like you. He looks just like you. Her son looks just like her, but it's her original face. He does not look like the surgery face. He looks like your original face, honey. He looks just like you used to look. So maybe she forgot, that she had work done, that, you change your look. But your son really looks like you. You know how they say the sons usually look like the mothers, and the daughters usually look like the father. That's so true. Yeah. The sons usually look more like the fathers, and the daughters usually look more like the sons usually look like their mothers, and the daughters usually look like their fathers. And that's true, because that's the same over here. My sons look more like me, and my daughters look more like their father. So her son, so when I looked at him, I'm like, dang, pull up her old pictures from before she had work done. That boy looked just like her, in my opinion. Blue Exodus, what's going on? Says SZA is a perfect example of someone who was better before all the surgery and makeup. Exactly. I agree. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't see it. I think that girl looked way better before. This her face, like something is, and then teeth too, can make you look different. Thank you so much for the super chat. So you got to be careful, Blue Exodus. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I think she looks way better before any of this surgery, the BBL and everything. I don't even think she needed that. She looked now she just looked like a caricature. A lot of these people look like caricatures. They don't even look like themselves. So I think do you whatever you think is gonna make you look better, do it. But then if you take it too far, it starts to look weird. It can start to look weird. And I know a lot of people, somebody said Lil Kim was better before the surgery as well. I agree too. Yeah, she looked, I don't know what she's done, but Lord, no. Yeah. Look, I told my, I was telling my daughter, look, child, look, when I start to look older or, and you got to get old. Thank God for age. You're still living. You have life. That means life that you're living. I appreciate it, but look, if I start getting like big bags underneath my eyes and it's super noticeable, baby, I might do something about that. I don't like to touch my face because your face, it's like you start letting them people do stuff with your face, then you start looking plastic and shiny and weird. Normally I'm like, nah, I'm not touching my face, but listen, if as I get older, Lord spare life that I can live, and I get old, as I get older, I'm talking about like 60, 70, child, if I start getting something that just look really bad, I might get a little pull, little tuck or something, who knows? I'm not 100% against it, because I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. I'm not going to lie to y'all, then y'all be like, dang, you did something to your face? I don't like to touch my face though, because I see that going wrong. There are, preventative measures you're supposed to take now, moisturizing your skin and taking care of your skin, not smoking. Like, because people who smoke, it really ages you. So if you smoke, you got to stop smoking. I don't smoke, never have, none of that. All of that stuff makes your skin look bad. If we're really talking about that. So you got to do things to preserve your skin, especially as you get older. You got to do stuff, don't just sit back and not do anything. And then when it all starts crumbling, then you run getting that surgery, and then that surgery sometimes make you look worse. And if you get close up on a person who's had surgery, you can tell their lips look different. You could tell, so yeah, you just got to do things. Rest, get your rest. Stop staying out all night and staying up late around other smokers and stuff like that. Ages you. Drinking, all that ages you, and I thank God, I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that. I try to get my rest, child. That's why I don't do like lives at night. I got to get my rest. This, somebody asked me, I got to go to sleep. And when you do lives in the evening, those lives could go to 7, 8, 9, 10 at night, child. I'm in the bed. I'm trying to get me a snack and go to sleep. I don't have time for that. And I think part of that is probably why people tell me I don't look my age, that you look good, that I look good for my age. Because, child, I try to get my rest. I take my vitamins. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do none of that. And I'm at peace. Being peaceful too helps you to age well. The point and we didn't got off the topic. We're going to get back on it, y'all. But I just wanted to say that the point is not to look young, but just to age gracefully. That's the goal for me anyway. I want to age gracefully. I don't want to look 20 years old, because I'm never going to look 20 again. I want to age gracefully. And so far, I think that's happening. I don't have a problem. But if I ever get to the point where I just got big bags, or I'm starting to look real bad, baby, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something. Oh, yeah, I'm not against it. Mr. Albert says, yes, black does crack. Black folks be lying. Listen, what did my daughter say? She said, dang, black don't crack, but it gets bloated. Somebody said, I think my daughter said black don't crack, because she was referring to Lord. She was referring to Vivica Fox. Y'all saw Vivica Fox lately. She looked swollen. And my daughter said, Lord, black don't crack, but it does get swollen. I thought that was funny. It's all outdoors. She had me laughing. Child, Lord, let me see. I want to read the super chat so I don't forget. Hit the like button, y'all. Make sure y'all hitting the like button. Successful MD says women should be careful with the makeup. Some designer makeup is knockoff. Women ordered stuff from China and used it. It was feces. Many got sick. Oh yeah, you can't. Thank you for the super chat. You can, if you're gonna wear makeup, get it from the legitimate source. You can't be getting makeup from China like that. You know. And I even thank you once again, Successful MD, for the super chat. I have sensitive skin, so certain makeup I can't wear because it mess with my allergies. Some lipsticks, makeup can would break you out. You have to be very cautious with the makeup that you get and what you're using, because it could definitely mess with your skin and trigger things. And yeah, it's you gotta just be, can't get the too cheap stuff, I will say, but you definitely shouldn't be getting it from out the country, from somewhere. That stuff you don't know, because they use certain chemicals in the makeup that will cause issues with your skin and things like that. So yeah, and you should minimize how much you use it and how often. I'm just saying. And I know that in certain lines of work, you gotta, I don't know. It's just, you just gotta be cautious with it. And it's not something you should do on a daily basis. I'm just saying, unless your work calls for it, or you're, like I said, you're beauty influencers and stuff like that. You have to review different products and things like that. But that's usually stuff coming from, good brands or whatever, not just any old makeup. So yeah, you gotta be careful. Hareem says celebrities that get plastic surgery try to look Hollywood. Instead, they look Holly weird, just a hot mess. Oh my God, for real. Thank you, Hareem, for the super chat. Yeah, they go too far. They do too much. It's super exaggerated. It really looks a mess. And on TV, you can even see it now. It's just look bad. And then when you see them in real life, you can definitely see the pulls, the tucks, the chin implants, you could see it, cheekbone implants. I mean, they do it all. And it just be eye lifts and stuff. It could go too far. Thank you once again for the super chat. So yeah, you gotta be mindful. Paul Harrison back with another generous super chat. Thank you so much. Says, so what's the solution to the dilemma of the attitudes of modern day women's thinking? It's extremely difficult to unlearn what you've learned over the years. However, what you, DeeDee, and others are doing is offering an alternative to this madness. It's called truth. Thank you once again, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, yeah, the solution, once again, to me, is being honest about what the core issues are. Being honest, taking accountability for your role in it, and start to make changes that will benefit you long term. And I think the main part of it is the accountability is lacking. A lot of people hate to acknowledge the truth. And so what that means is, when you hate to acknowledge the truth, you don't think that there's a problem. So in turn, you don't do anything to change it. So you stay stuck there, perpetuating a cycle that has not worked before. See, I think a lot of modern day people in general, I'll say, particularly women, have not been held accountable for their actions. Their mothers, their grandmothers, the people before them. So they don't see a problem with their actions. They think it's okay. They talk about it, but then they perpetuate the same thing their mothers and their grandmothers did. And they're constantly blaming men, which shows no accountability, but they only see the fault of the man. They don't see the fault in themselves. No accountability. You don't see anything you're doing wrong. You don't think nothing's wrong with it. So when you hear people like me and others talk about the nature of women and where they need to make changes, they don't believe it. First, you don't believe it. You think it's bullshit. You don't want to be accountable because you don't see yourself in the wrong. You don't see that, oh, you know what? I made poor decisions. You know they're poor decisions, but you don't want to acknowledge it. So not acknowledging it, once again, is you not making any changes to better it. So they think nothing's wrong with what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing it. Then the attitude with it, I'm going to keep doing it. And men are the one who need to make the changes. That's why it's a problem. As long as women aren't accountable for their actions and constantly blaming the men, nothing's going to change. So the men who actually take accountability and learn from their mistakes and level up and do what's necessary for them to thrive, they're excluding the women. So if men aren't checking for women and the men who are leveling up aren't checking for women, now we don't have relationships. So if the men are leveling up and doing what's necessary for them to thrive and for them doing what normally they would do to prepare for families, but if the women haven't changed, then they're prepared, but they don't have women who understand what relationships should be, and women who aren't doing what's necessary for them to level up to be what the men need them to be. That's the real problem. The real solution is accountability. We're not talking about Pookies and Ray Ray. If you're talking about the men who are accountable and realize, hey, that they have to be responsible for somebody. Men understand that. Largely, men understand that they have to be responsible for a wife and children. That many men would like to get married and would like to have families and build with somebody. But if women have not changed their mentality, have not learned anything from their past, or not wanting to be accountable, then what are the men don't have much to choose from? Which is going to bring me, and I already played that clip of the woman talking about how men don't really have much to choose from. They don't have very many options. Yeah, women number the men, but the men aren't going to have any suitable women for marriage. So what are they supposed to do? They still leveling up because they know they need to. They've always been told that they need to do this XYZ. Men have always been told they wasn't ish, that they're deadbeats and they need to do this and they need to do that. And a lot of those men have leveled up. They have gotten themselves on the right path, but we can't say the same for a lot of these women. And then the women who do so-called level up, they think that they're superior to men. They think that because they got a job or went to school that they're better than the men around. So they don't want the men who have leveled up. They may be they're average men, but they're taking care of themselves. They're doing what they need to do for themselves. But the women have the few women who have leveled up. Those men aren't good enough. So if we keep saying, which I hear some men saying that the women aren't the problem, then okay. Who is the problem? They want to say the men, not the men who are doing well. They keep focusing on Pookie and Ray Ray. Pookie and Ray Ray gonna be Pookie and Ray Ray until they don't want to be anymore. And then when they level up, they're not gonna want those women either. That's the real gag. They're not gonna want them same women. They're gonna want what the other productive men have always wanted: suitable, cooperative, loving women, feminine women. They're still not gonna want those women. So baby, if you ask me, the problem is the women. Thank you, Paul, once again for the generous super chat. I appreciate you. So, child, that's just that, As long as women are delusional and don't think that they need to do anything, it's going to be a problem. The men are going to be separated and go marry other women, find other suitable women to marry. That's just that. Let's listen to this.
I heard the question, what are you bringing to the table, for years. So when they're asking this question to women, they are not asking for the same reasons. Men do not care what you have in your purse. They are asking, what kind of woman are you? Now that this question is being posed to women, it is exposing all of the women who really have no real character, because that's why they're upset. He just wants to know, are you agreeable? Are you peaceful? Do you like to cook? Can you keep a clean house? Do you want children? How do you feel about family? Do you involve people in your relationships? Do you go toe to toe with your men? How is your mouth when you're in an argument?
No lies detected. And that's just what that is. That question gets women heated every time. Every time somebody asks, well, what do you bring to the table? How dare you ask me what I bring to the table? How dare you ask me why would you even ask that question? Why is that such a hard question to answer? Why is that a hard question to answer? Why are you so pissed? To me, if you ask that question, which I don't think most men are asking like that anyway. Most men are not going on dates with women saying, "What do you bring to the table?" I don't see a problem if you did ask it. See, you asked me that question if I was dating, I wouldn't get upset. I'd be like, well, first probably would ask, "What you mean? Like, what do you mean?" And then let them expound on it. Like, these women are just pissed. If a man ever asks me that, it's over. I don't want to talk to him. I'm blocking him. I'm this. Why? Why is that such a hard question? Because you don't know how to answer it. See, when people are mad, when women are mad over stuff, it shows you it lets you know right then and there that those women don't have any accountability. They're not self-aware, or they just don't want to accept it. That's a red flag. If you ask somebody something similar to that and they get hard down mad, that's a red flag that this person will not be what you want. Because if you ask a simple question like that and she hard down mad, chalk that up as a red flag. That you ain't gonna be able to ask her nothing, and she's gonna be combative and she's gonna have issues. So you gotta take that as a red flag. That shouldn't make you pissed off. I wouldn't get pissed. Now, back in the day, if you asked me that, I probably would have been like, can you explain? But then once you explain, I would answer it. I wouldn't get mad. That's not something to get mad off on, in my opinion. That's not a question that should make you pissed off and want to walk off. No, you explain it. Tell them as best as you can what would you bring to any relationship or any man. And the reason it's hard because they don't have anything that they would bring. That lets you know that she doesn't have anything to offer. She doesn't have anything to offer. She just wants you to offer her everything. She wants you to offer everything, and she offers nothing. That's that. So to me, the way that person answers lets you know that person would be a red flag. Like, no, keep it moving. Don't mess with her because she's going to be trauma and drama. Successful MD says they want to wear bonnets and slides to dinner, child. Don't get me started with that, Successful MD. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, they do. They want to wear slides, bonnets, and pajamas everywhere they go. Don't get me even started with that, because we talk about image and self-image on here as well. Like, you think it's okay to wear bonnets, slides, pajamas, robes, a sleep pillow, an eye mask. What else? Sleepwear just everywhere. You want to get up out of bed and keep it moving. Jump in the car with your sleep gear on, just taking it with you everywhere, and that's okay. But I guarantee you, if men start walking around with bonnets, which I've seen some of them with, these young men be wearing bonnets, it's okay when you're going to sleep to protect your hair. But if men were to start walking around with bonnets and pajamas and robes and slippers with their wallets in their pocket, I bet they'll be like, what in the world? They would have a lot to say. They would trash y'all something awful if y'all start walking around like that. But when they do it, it's okay. It should be acceptable. It shouldn't matter what we wear out. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter what if men do it. That's like they tried to shame men for getting them hair pieces. Did y'all see that? They try to shame men for getting them hair wigs, them hair pieces. They try to shame men for getting them abs. Men go get plastic surgery. Now the men getting BBLs, child. Why a man would need a BBL is beyond me. But they get BBLs. They get the abs done. They putting them wig units on, the hair units. What is it? They tried to shame the men for that, but they had to stop because how dare you try to shame a man for getting a wig when all y'all wear is wigs? Come on now, make that make sense. So I don't hear too much of it now because they shut them down. Like y'all, the man units, they was trying to shame the men for the man units. Y'all wear a woman unit 24/7. Come on, the hair hats, you wear them 24/7. How you gonna shame a man for doing what you do? You go get your lace front glued down, they go get their man unit glued down. Okay. It's just a mess. All right, let's somebody said roll the clip. Let's move on to the next. I want to play this for you guys. Here we go.
You have fornicated multiple times. You have now developed preferences. This is why God never wanted for us to have outside of marriage. Once you've experienced things that you should have only experienced within wedlock, you develop preferences. So when you meet a really good woman, she's everything you need, but she can't turn it up in the bedroom like that freak can. You may pass up on your soulmate because she can't please you like the freak. And a lot of people have lost out on good relationships because they didn't come with freak of the week talent. I've had women, sisters admit it, I should have married him, but he couldn't turn it up in the bedroom.
What y'all think about that? What y'all thoughts on that? Do y'all agree or do you disagree? Let me know. That man that blew her back out still haunts her desires. Dr. Out of wedlock with kids and no school is talking. Why I knew somebody was gonna say that. Why I knew somebody was gonna say that. And I get it. But listen, Umar Johnson, yes, that school is not happening. I'm sorry. Yeah, do I think he scammed the people? Yes, I do. But let's be honest. You can't look how they say it. A broken clock is right 2 times a day or something like that. Well, listen, yes, when it comes to that school and all that, straight scam, in my opinion. But he has some valid points when it comes to other things. You know, when it comes to other things, he has some valid points. Just like he has valid points when it comes to the politics that's happening. You know, he be spot on with that. Now, I'm gonna give you props when it's deserved. I'm not gonna give you no fake props. I'm not gonna make it up. No, I'm gonna call it like I see it. And I think he's spot on with stuff like this. He made a lot of sense when it comes to this, but when it comes to his own endeavors, yeah, it's some scamish behavior going on, and I wouldn't support that. But when you speaking the truth, you're speaking the truth. Now, if you honest and you telling the truth, I got to give it where it needs to be given. But he be speaking the truth, and just like I did a video with him talking about Democrats and this all this these immigrants and all this stuff. He's spot on with that. So yeah, he speaks the truth on those types of things. But when it comes to his own stuff, child, it's a hot mess. So yeah. But I think he has a point. I think there's a reason why you're supposed to marry before you carry, why you're supposed to have kids in wedlock, and why you're supposed to only be with, that, even though people don't do it like that, people are all out of order, they don't do it exactly like that. But I think there was a reason, there's a reasoning behind it, because I do think, and I don't know if I spoke on this recently or not, but I was talking about how, when women have been, or any men and women have been out here sleeping with this one and that one and that one, you do develop a preference. You develop a certain way you like certain things, and you go through a lot of men trying to do, doing that. And even you're building that body count, which is not conducive, in my opinion, to healthy relationships. But you've been with all these different men, and now you develop a preference. So and this is what a lot of women are in search of. Like Tia Mowry, she's out here in search of finding out what she likes, what she don't like. So she may be, I don't know, subconsciously thinking of, going out and experience different men because she was married young to her husband. So now she want to be out in the streets, and that is not where it's at. But this is what I hear a lot of women saying. You got to try a whole bunch of different men to see what you like, not realizing what you're really doing internally. So you go through all of that, and then you finish doing that, and then you realize that you done messed yourself up. You made yourself less desirable for a husband. So say you do get a husband, and then when you get your husband, you want him to, well, now, hell, they talking about they got to make sure all of that's intact before they marry him. So even if you do get a husband and then you get him, and now you're expecting him to do things perform the way all your flings perform. You want him to, whatever you want him to do, he doesn't measure up, or even vice versa. A woman doesn't measure up to the freak, like he said, the freak of the week or the freaks of the weeks that you done had. Now you want your wife to do what these freaks were doing. And if it ain't happening, now they ready to leave the marriage, ready to go find, what they like and what they used to, and then it causes a problem. So I think what he's saying there's some reasoning behind it. I think that probably was the reason why you shouldn't have all these different, lovers, because it kind of, makes you, I don't know, it messes with the relationship that you do have. This is why also I think that the longer you're single, especially as a woman, or it could be a man too, men and women, the longer you're single, and especially if you've been out there, if you've put your body out there all over the place, it's going to be harder specifically for women to be with one man at some point. You get older and you're with one man, you're going to have issues in that relationship. You're going to cause issues because you're not used to being with one man. You're used to spreading it all over. So when you get with one, you're going to cause problems in every way. And because you're just not, even though you want it, that's why I say a lot of women, you want something that you're not familiar with, and you've been on the market for so long, just giving it to everybody, and you're used to that. You're used to being single. You're used to moving the way you want. You're used to having your own space and all of it. You're used to having different partners. So when you get one partner and then y'all sharing space too and all that, oh, she's gonna lose her mind. A lot of these women gonna have a problem with that. They don't, it's cute when you see other people coupled up and living good, but when you try to do it, it's not going to be quite the same, and you're going to find fault in it. And this is why you do have married women who are leaving their husbands, because they feel like something is better, but that's really you going against, something that you're not used to. You're used to going out, even though you get tired of it, you're used to it. If that makes sense. That's a lot of the way women move. It don't make sense, but I get it, because a lot of times we don't make sense. It's not logical, but it's about feeling. So when you feel funny in your marriage or your relationship, you're ready to leave. And what they do, you go back to something that's familiar, even if it's not good for you. So it's not logical to go back to something that that you were not happy with, but because of your feelings and because of familiarity, or however you say that word, you go back to what you're used to, even if it's a detriment to your success. This is why people pick the certain kind of guys over and over and over again, because you're familiar with that, even though it didn't work out for you. It doesn't bring you any prosperity. It doesn't lead you in the right direction, but because you're used to it, you keep going back. So you find women in good relationships or good marriages, they leave it because it's not familiar. You don't know what a stable home looks like. You don't know what a stable man looks like. You don't know what a peaceful household looks like. You're used to toxicity. You're used to men coming and going. You're used to being outside all the time. You're used to doing things how you want to. You don't know what structure looks like. You don't know what stability looks like with a man. So it becomes boring. When you hear women in relationships talking about it's boring, because you're not used to it. It's the best thing that probably ever happened to you, but you're not used to it. So you condemn it and then go back out on the streets. And then when you're back out there, you then again realize why you didn't want that in the first place. But now it's too late. That man, you done messed up a good relationship. You want him back. and he's moved on because you done messed him up, and now he don't trust women because women will leave a good situation for a toxic situation because that's all they know. And you've scarred this man and those men either they say the hell with it, I'm not looking for no women no more because they all toxic. You mess him up for the next person. So either now he started playing women, he could turn toxic because he like, F this, I'm gonna just, these women ain't loyal, so you know what, F them. I'm just gonna play the field, or he don't want to deal with you at all, or he go marry him a woman outside his race who's loyal to him, who he can trust, because now he don't trust y'all because y'all will jack up a good situation. So it's just what it is. It's just what it turns into, you know. So you don't know which one is gonna be because you know you can turn a good man bad. He just don't know because you don't know what to do with him. You're not faithful to him. Thank y'all so much for the likes. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Yeah, you know, men don't trust women in a lot of cases, and rightfully so. You don't trust them because of their ways. There's too many women who actually been in relationships with good men, and you show them why they can't trust you. You mess them over. You hurt their feelings. They're not gonna sit there and cry in front of you and say, "Oh my God, you hurt my feelings." No, men don't move like that. At least not the ones that I know. They don't move like that. They look at you. They see you for who you are. They chalk it up. It don't mean that they're not hurt. A lot of these women hurt these men. These men are usually distraught when women walk away. Because this is a lot of men don't walk away, but women also try to flip it, which I've seen videos where women try to flip it and say, the reason why the men will push you and they will push you and make you want to leave. No, not necessarily. There might be a man somewhere that did that, but that's not the representation of how men, of all men. Just because you may feel like that was your experience don't mean that's what it actually was, and that don't mean that that's what every man does. So they're trying to make it seem like now men will push you and make you leave, and then blame you for leaving. No, that's not. I'll say that's not always the case. There might, like I said, there might be. I'm not going to doubt that maybe that's happened but that's not typically how men move. This is what women think. And remember, if you're going off of what you think and what's not factual and what your feelings are, remember your feelings aren't facts. It's just how you feel. Look at the actual facts and what's actually happening and take some accountability. Look at what's really happening and then come to a conclusion. But if you're just basing it off what you feel and what you think, we can't use that as logical facts. And we know that women do that. So whatever they feel and think becomes factual to them, but it's not really that. And when you start hearing, this is why when you hear women talk about their relationships, you need to hear the other side. You need to hear what the man is saying. And 9 times out, I'll say 8 times out of 10, just to be, give them a little bit. When the man starts telling you what was actually going on, then you start to piece it together and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, he didn't just walk up and leave, or he didn't just walk up and slap the shit out of you. What did you do to lead up to that? It's not always he's just jumped up inside, decided I don't want to be in this relationship no more. No, what transpired? What transpired? What actually happened? Did you do something to trigger him? Did you cheat on him, honey? Oh, he just up and left. You went on a girls trip. Did he say, what was the conversation before you went on that girls trip and then came back and he was gone? What led up to that? Because he didn't just wake up one day and said, I'm out of here. It's just they leave out a lot. So this is why you have to hear both sides. Just don't take anybody's word. Listen to the full story and everything. And then you'll see a lot of times these women were out of line. And, I give credit where credit is due. If the man was wrong, he was wrong. But let's hear the whole story. This is what the men's side is always left out, because men don't usually go on social media and tell all their business. They don't usually do that. You see more women telling their whole business, but they want, and they say it in a way so that you can feel sorry for them and just take their side. But we don't always get the male perspective because men don't go on social media crying, talking about, oh, she left me, oh, this and that and that. No, but if you were to hear both sides, then you can put it together, and it's usually not the way women try to portray it. You know what I'm saying? So to be fair, I try to be fair. I got to hear both sides to make a reasonable opinion, to get a reasonable opinion. I just can't take your word. People have done that, taking a woman's word and then she was lying. Women lie. They lie very well, right? And that's the thing. They cheat. They cheat very well. Mm-hmm. They've said it. I already knew that, but they said it. They'll cheat and the man will never know. Go out and cheat, make babies, and tell the man it's your baby. He don't know no better. Even though he know, oh wait, hold up, these dates don't add up. But you know what? She wouldn't do that to me. She wouldn't do that to me. And you go with that until you find out. And these men are hurt by it. They just don't express their feelings the way we do. So you and women got to understand too, when you do that to a man, he doesn't forget it. He might hold on to it. He ain't gonna let you know. He's not gonna go and express his feelings and emotions the way we do. But he ain't forgetting it. He holding on to that. You hurt a man? Oh shit, he don't forget that. That's why they're able to move on, and they may carry it with them, and that definitely plays a part in how they move or remove themselves from women after that. This is why they're skeptical about relationships, and this is why some men have that not attitude, but they have the perspective of, you know what, you're gonna do what I want you to do, and that's that. That comes from a place of hurt. They don't forget what you done to them. They hold on to that shit. Yes, they do. And they remember it. They don't forget. And they will carry it with them. And it may have a bearing on how they move in the future relationship. So yeah, when you see that, yeah, they don't forget. You say something to a man that's hurtful to him, he ain't forgetting that. I don't think it's that easy for them to forget. I think they hold on to it and they remember. So, y'all got to realize that women just think that because men don't express themselves the way they do, that they don't have feelings and that they're not paying attention to what you're doing and how you treat them and how you talk to them. Yes, they are. So, yes, a lot of the work women need to do a lot of work. They really do. You got to do better. You got to stop thinking that a man is just his wallet and that he don't have any feelings and he shouldn't have any expectations from you, that he shouldn't require anything of you. That just makes sense. He should require certain things from you. And then the things that he wants in a relationship, he should be able to express that without being shamed or called sassy. No, you have requirements. You have things you want out of a relationship and a man, and so do men. And if you don't want to level up and give the men what they want, then you're just going to continue to be single. They'll eventually either be single or they'll go and find a woman somewhere else who has the qualities that they want. That's just what it is. So yes, women got to do better. We all got to do better. There are some men, Pookies and Ray Rays, got to do better, because as long as y'all are there for them to keep going to, for loving and thinking that they're going to change y'all, they're going to keep doing that too. They're going to keep giving y'all babies, and y'all need to level up too. Stop dealing with these women because, they look to y'all. But it's a lot. You can only give the information. You can't make people, you can't make people do it. So yeah, as long as like the lady Love Dorsey said, as long as these men keep giving these women attention and the time of day, they gonna keep on doing what they doing. And if nothing, if nothing changes, well, we're gonna have a bunch of women becoming lesbians and living together with all the children. They're gonna get all the children, they're gonna all get a place, and because rent is getting sky high, so they're gonna all have to get together and help pay that damn rent. And all take care of the kids and buy Fruit Loops for the children because it's getting expensive, And when they stop giving government assistance and all that, y'all really gonna have to pull them resources together, and all y'all live together to take care of the children and take care of each other, because that's what it's gonna be. When the men are on off and start going off to other countries and marrying other women, non-black women, and all the women are left here with the kids, y'all gonna have to couple up or triple up or whatever, quadruple up. Y'all gonna have to get together and make it do what it do. So that might be a choice. And we know already that's gonna be a disaster, because women now who are in lesbian relationships are 50% DV. They can't even work together. So we know all y'all start tripling and quadrupling up. That's going to be a major problem, baby. So that's just what it might be. Y'all going to have to just make it work and do compound living. Yes, Charles. Y'all going to have to compound live it up and hope and pray that it works out, and nobody, y'all don't beat each other up in there, for the kids' sake. So seems like the very thing that you're running from, you're going to end up having to do anyway. You're going to end up having to cooperate with somebody for the kids, because y'all got to take care of them kids. It's going to be a struggle all by your lonesome. So you're going to have to do something. Y'all going to have to cooperate, make it work, swallow your pride, control your anger when you're mad. That ain't 24/7 living happy, the happy soft life. Y'all gonna all have to work. Y'all gonna all have to pull them resources together. Y'all all gonna have to take care of them kids. Y'all gonna all have to try to be keep it cool. You can't just act a fool. You're gonna have to be stable to make sure them kids have a decent upbringing and not fighting all over the place. So you still gonna have to cooperate with somebody and be responsible all together. Or it's gonna be super hard. So where's this soft life by yourself? It's getting harder out here, as everybody can see. Prices are going up on everything, and people are getting fired left and right. Work is not as fluent. People are out here gonna have to really pull resources together somehow. So is that the alternative? What's the alternative? Or, I posted on the community tab that big bear that these women are buying in droves. Either you're gonna have to go downsize, get you that big man bear, and pretend like that's your man. Y'all want men to be quiet and don't have an opinion. Well, that bear can't talk. You can go get the big bear, the man-sized bear, and sleep with it, hump on it, do all of that. You know what I'm saying? And just have to be at peace. I'm just saying. Because there's the man-sized bear, and then women are buying it too. I wish I had a picture of it. Go on my community tab. I posted it on there. They're going to start buying that bear in droves, humping it, loving on it and everything. So they come home, sit him up in the bed, act like that's your man, and just be delusional. There you go. And see how that works and how long that's going to work for you. So I'm going to leave it here, you guys. Once again, thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate y'all for showing up and showing out. Thanks to everybody who gave super chats or cash apps to support the channel. I appreciate you for the love, for the support, y'all. Make sure y'all continue to like the videos that are posted on the channel. Even make sure you hit the like button on this stream on your way out if you haven't already, which I think you guys have hit the like button. So thanks so much for the likes. Share the stream, share the videos if you can. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload new content or go live. Make sure you guys are doing that as well. Successful MD says, I should open a pet store and retire tomorrow, child. Probably could, Successful MD, baby, because, people saying put some stock into that and certain things, because women are going to definitely need it. Thank you once again, Successful MD, for your super chat. I appreciate you, sir. They do need to do better, Lazy Gamer. I appreciate y'all. So definitely continue to support the channel, you guys. Watch the videos. Make sure you are hitting the like button on those videos. That helps with the algorithm to get to push the channel forward, you guys. So make sure you're watching the videos that are already posted on the channel. And that is it. Thank y'all once again for being here. I appreciate you guys. Y'all stay safe out here in these streets. I will be back on Tuesday. The next live stream will be Tuesday, 1:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you guys are there on Tuesday. And that is it. So appreciate you. Love you. Y'all guys be safe. And I will see you in the next. So guys and girls watching. I know I say guys, but I'm referring to everybody. But the ladies and the gentlemen watching and supporting the channel, I appreciate all of you. Thank y'all so much for your support. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.